So, welcome to Tomb of Annihilation, everybody. We left off in the world of Tavern approximately 2 months ago after after your previous party had finished with White Bloom Mountain. It's about now 2 months later, and for the past several days, the talk of the streets and the taverns has all been about the so-called death curse, a wasting disease afflicting everyone who's ever been raised from the dead. Victims grow thinner and weaker each day, slowly but steadily sliding towards the death they denied. Sorry, words. When they finally succumb, they can't be raised, and neither can anyone else, regardless of whether they've ever received a miracle in the past. Temples and scholars of divine magic are at a loss to explain a curse that has affected the entire region, and possibly the entire world. You've been invited to the home of Syndra Sylvain, a retired adventurer and merchant. First through the door is Meiril, if you'd like to introduce your character.
Meiril seems like a quite sophisticated individual. He stands about 6'1", fairly medium build, pale skin spends a lot of time indoors. His hair parted in the middle, a quite dark colour. His hazel eyes bring a certain charm about things. And he stands with a purpose. He's been around nobility, but not quite noble himself.
Okay.
That's all I've got, really.
Next one through the door is Lagotah.
Lagotah is a female half-orc. She is pretty large of shoulders, and you can really see her half-orc heritage, both in the color of her skin, of her skin that is very, very green, the tusks coming out of her mouth, even her nose is rather big, her ears are pointy. There's really no hiding what she is. She's wearing heavy chainmail and carrying a long sword and a few hand axes. And she's walking like someone who's used to military training.
Okay. The third person through the door is Angren.
Angren is human. He's in his mid-20s. He stands at 5'9". He's got brown shoulder-length hair that you can see poking through the hood, which is drawn up. The hood is mostly covering his face. You can't tell too many features about it, and it's quite baggy, so you can't really tell his build or his weight. As he comes through the door, he's holding a warhammer and a shield with the symbol of Ballor painted across the middle.
And last but definitely not least, Mercy joins the group.
So Mercy is a slender half-orc, greenish-grey skin, chestnut blonde hair, shaved on one side. Looks pretty wild. She's wearing a leather armor and carrying a bow. That's pretty much it.
Okay. If you guys want to take a chance, because it's going to be a couple minutes before anyone has the chance to take you to the lady of the house. If anyone wants to talk to any of the others. A few of you have probably seen each other around before. You've done odd jobs in the local area, a couple of goblin infestations, rescued a couple of villagers got kidnapped, that kind of thing. You'll know at least of each other, even if you haven't directly worked together before.
I'm gonna nod at each of them in salute and
I have my hands behind my back, sort of held at the small of my back as I give a bow back.
I nod back, standing a bit away from the rest of the party.
Oh, we're such a social group.
Yeah.
Pleasure to see you all here again.
Is it?
Oh, now. We
Go ahead.
aren't that abrasive towards each other now, are we?
No. Do we know why we're here?
You have all been invited in person. Like, you all received a personal invitation from Syndra Sylvain. The exact reason wasn't specified, but her message told you need to come here at this time, and it was urgent.
Right.
And about this time, a uniformed attendant appears in the doorframe from somewhere else in the house and beckons you all to follow him. And he leads you up a grand staircase to the third floor, ushers you into a wood-panelled room with a fireplace, comfortable chairs, and a heavy table bearing goblets and bottles of wine. The darkly panelled walls are hung with maps and sea charts. Racks, shelves, and cabinets hold hundreds more rolled-up maps and charts. A person is seated in an overstuffed chair near the fire. You can't discern a gender because only the person's head emerges from under a heavy blanket draped over the chair. An embroidered hood and silver mask conceal the wearer's face. Even the person's dry, raspy voice provides no clue. Help yourselves to wine and seat yourself, friends. I hope I may call you that.
Well, I'm probably not going to get anything from this, but I'd just like to insight check.
Go for it. Apologies for the voice. I am terrible at voicing NPCs, especially female ones.
Given that I am familiar with Lady Sylvain, do I get any... Can I get any check to try and recognize if it's her or not?
This is definitely her.
Okay.
Those of you that have interacted... Well, you've all interacted with her in some degree in the past. This is definitely her.
In that case,
My lady, are you alright?
She's concealing everything about it. No. The death curse you've been hearing about has struck me. I have died in the past and was raised. I closed the door on the adventuring chapter of my life after that. I don't know how much longer I'll last before I perish. The clerics have no help to offer. They're stymied by what is happening.
The rumors are true then.
They are. My contacts in the Harpers have learned that the cause of the curse is a necromantic artifact called the Soulmonger. According to them, it's somewhere in Chult. And she sort of just goes quiet for a moment, and you can tell that even this is exhausting her.
Do you not have an assistant to assist you in briefing us, milady, as opposed to having to exert yourself?
I'll manage. It won't be for that much longer.
I'll take some of the wine if she's offered, and
Yeah, she has.
yeah, I'll have some of that in hand.
From the little I can tell you, Chult is a peninsula ringed with mountains, choked with rainforests, enormous reptiles, savage goblins, and an army of undead prowl its jungles and ruins. Mapping the place has always been nigh impossible, and nothing is known about the region's current geography beyond a few miles from the coast. Working from dozens of sea charts, logbooks, and explorers' journals, I assembled everything known about the current state of Chult into one map. I'll provide it to you if you undertake my mission.
Of course, my lady. You can count on me.
I will also accept. I see this as a great opportunity, albeit even if I am a bit out of my depth with rainforests and uncharted territory.
What will you offer us in return?
Assuming that you can save my life, a rare magical item for all of you. And I expect that if you succeed, the treasure we'll find will make you rich as kings.
I accept then.
I'll go
Otherwise,
too. It would be useful to know what us clerics can do to help when we're there.
from what we gathered of the effects, anyone that's died and been brought back is wasting away. I don't want to go into graphic detail, but suffice to say, it's eating at the very heart of what we are, and the damage it's doing cannot be repaired by any means. And those that have wasted away within the last 20 days are gone forever. The damage, seemingly anything that affects your overall health, including the touch of a white, seems impossible to heal. And anyone that dies, their soul's lost. No spells that raise the dead are functioning, there's no soul. The magic is blocked, or there's nothing to find. But clearly, undead and speaking to the undead still works. Sorry.
It is, my lady.
You can see a slump over in her chair to a point. She seems to be leaning rather heavily on one of the armrests at the moment. Just give me a minute and I'll be okay. And she reaches out kind of unsteadily and grabs a rolled up map from the table and sort of passes it over to you all. And I'm going to move you over to the map player.
I'll reach out and take it.
And this is what you can see on the map itself.
The map slowly fills in the blank spots.
Umbra, you appear to have disconnected from the Roll20.
Yeah, it says your connection still has been interrupted. It's still filling in the map, and my map did change over, so I don't know what's going on fully, if I'm connected or not, but...
You are not connected on my end.
Right.
So
May sort itself out when loaded.
Yeah. One more hope. Anyway.
Okay, yeah. This is the map that Syndra passed over to you guys. This is the little that's known about Chult. Most of the jungle, as you can see, is unknown. There's a few markers. For context, the black and white squares are forts. White and black squares, so white outline, black center, tend to be ruins. And Port Nyanzaru is the only known city on the map.
Sorry, what was that? White outlines...
Yeah.
White outline, black square.
That is a fort.
Umbra's not able
right.
to see.
I'm just noting down here.
White outline, black center is a ruin. Black outline, white center is a fort. Port Nyanzaru is the only city. Everything else tends to be mines or the like.
Okay. I just noted it down for us for future reference.
Yeah, Umbra, you're gonna need to reload your page.
Yeah, which is annoying. It has to refill itself again.
Do we have any idea where or what that soundmonger is?
We know it's somewhere in the jungles of Chult, but where exactly is unknown, somewhere deep in the heart of the jungle. There's not much more I can tell you than that.
Like finding a harbor in a capital. This will be fun.
Funny
Do you know
you
of
should-
any way? Do you know of any way to track it once we're there?
Maybe some locals will know where it is. Otherwise, you're going to have to explore and try and find the signs. It's been 20 days. We have almost no information. And if you're wondering why I've come to you guys rather than more experienced adventurers, believe me, we've already tried. And with Greta, she reaches out to her table and grabs, you can see 4 small sacks or bags, and sort of passes them over for you to each take one.
I'll carefully take one.
Yes.
And looking inside, each of you can find 50 gold. 50 gold pieces. And she says, to cover your upfront expenses with equipment and guides in Port Nyanzaru, and anyone you have to bribe for information, take that. Is about all I can offer right now. I'll be accompanying you to Chult, and I'll stay with a friend of mine, a merchant prince by the name of Wakanga Otamu. He's one of the 7 that rule the city, so I'll be in safe hands. You'll know where to find me.
Are you fit for traveling, my lady?
I can teleport us. There's a ship inbound that's, when you step through the door, you'll find yourselves on. I'll join you shortly.
You
Alright.
shouldn't be trying to exert yourself.
So, the portal with exertion, I'll be alright. I just need a short while to recover.
Very well. Take as much time as you need.
And
Quick question. Can you write down the name of that merchant prince?
yes, I can.
Thank you. And that is
And-
awesome.
Yeah, if you prefer the map in handout form at any time, you'll be able to look at it via that handout.
Thank you.
Oh, the handout has a key as well. I didn't even need to write it down.
Which one
Okay,
is
so
the
stay
show
away
really?
from schools. As if that wasn't obvious already, but still.
Oh, skulls are just undead territory in general.
Yeah, probably best to stay away from those though.
I want to move the map right to the very top because otherwise it's below my entire list, all 292 character sheets.
Have fun!
There we go. It's now at the top of the list.
I'm gonna point out this keeps throwing me off because I keep thinking like I'm zoomed out pretty much all the way. I'm like, I wonder what's down there. Tries to grab a scroll wheel that doesn't exist because that's the end of the map.
So, is there anything else that you want to ask her?
I believe I am okay for the time being.
Yeah, me too.
Then, when you're ready, step through the door back out of her study.
I shall do that.
Yeah, I'll lead the way.
And could I have the name of the prince? Oh, you wrote it.
is
Okay.
in-
Yeah, I see it now.
I'll go last.
Okay. And stepping back out of the door of Syndra's study, you are hit by an overwhelming wave of heat and moisture. And you suddenly realize that you are no longer on the Sword Coast. You have appeared somewhere very tropical, very hot. And it looks like there's recently been a rainstorm that's now clearing. You can see still vestiges of rain dropping from the sky, and dark storm clouds moving away from you at a fairly rapid pace. And you find yourselves on the deck of a ship.
In darkness.
You should be able to see.
Yeah, there. Just give Roll20 the time to do its thing.
I saw a ping. Still black. There we go.
And on the ship, you can see what looks like 6 crew members plus the first mate and the captain on the deck of the ship. Ahead of you, Port Nyanzaru itself is an explosion of colour. Buildings painted in bright shades of blue, green, orange, salmon pink, while their walls are adorned with murals portraying giant reptiles and mythical heroes. Even from, you're not too far out, you can see that every building sports baskets and clay urns of colourful flowers with draped in leafy flowering vines. But from here you can't really make out much more details. And shortly after, Syndra herself steps out onto the deck of the ship behind you.
Oh, she has a beautiful token. With just
I know, right?
her name.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm gonna give her my arm for support.
She rather gratefully takes it. And as your ship sails closer to port, the sea ahead of you roars and churns, and waves crash over the bow of your ship, driven by sawtooth hills rising from the heaving foam. Water streams off the rising crags like rivers crashing down a mountainside. At last, the emerging island stops growing in size, while the sea around still tosses your ship like a drifting feather. Then, a huge blast of steam erupts from the waves. Through the drifting rainbow-coloured mist, you can see an immense beak and milky eye the size of a hogshead cast staring blindly in your direction. As the water calms, you also spot a dozen or more shark fins circling the ship. And a voice speaks. What languages do you all speak?
Orc.
Common, Elvish, and Sylvan.
Common, Orc, Gnomish, Elvish.
Okay.
Common
None
and
of you can
uncommon.
understand. None of you can understand what's being said, but the first mate comes over from where he was stood on the front left of the ship, comes over to the right-hand side, and you can see he's dragging a couple of sacks behind him that seem to be filled with currency. You've seen the shape of it in sacks before. This is definitely currency. You hear this voice speak again, and the first mate says something back in the same language and then tosses the sacks overboard.
What is going on?
Looks like an offering of some kind if I had to take a hazard a guess.
And whatever this thing was, as quick as it arrives, sinks back below the waves.
Were I able to get a good look and to determine what it actually was?
Can you roll me a nature check, please?
Oh shit.
You have no idea. And from where she's leaning on you, Lagotah, Syndra says, "That would be Aramag, the dragon turtle that guards and extorts the sea entrance to Port Nyanzaru. It demands a tribute for safe passage of valuables. All ships coming into port have to pay it."
Don't mean to be pedantic over the customs, but what does a giant underwater dragon turtle want with currency?
I mean, what do all dragons want with currency?
Fair point. I seem to have completely blanked on the fact that I said the word dragon twice.
This one gets it. You'll get there eventually, youngling. It'll be 10 or so minutes until we get into port. And you see the first mate walk back over to where he was, and once again takes up his position at the front left of the ship.
Okay.
I mean, we don't see it because dynamic lighting, but
Can you not see him?
nope. There's dynamic lighting walls here.
Meiril might have been able to see him
Yeah.
come back, but yeah.
I can see just
I
as
need,
well.
I need to move my token around to see around those walls.
But I'm assuming that you could at least make out the dragon turtle when it surfaced.
Probably.
I mean, it might be gargantuan.
Angren, care for some cards while we wait?
Uh-huh.
Hopefully imagining that some of the crew members has a deck of cards for the travels.
That sounds great right now.
Mm-hmm.
The crew themselves are going to be busy at the moment, but Syndra, with her free hand, sort of fumbles with one of her pockets and after a minute or so pulls out a deck of cards and hands it over to you.
Gently take it. Thank you very kindly. If you need anything else from any of us, I'm sure you'll be very willing to call.
I'll stay here with Lagotah until we get to port, and one of my contacts can escort me to the prince's house.
I give a bow, and I suppose Meiril and Angren play some cards.
Just before I go, I do say, if the crew does need any help with the ship, I have got experience, so come see me if you need an extra pair of hands.
Sure, if you rejoin them in future, they'll appreciate the offer. They seem to have it covered right now, but this ship is... I at least know the captain, and she'll provide you passage. The captain, as a note, it's hard to see from where you guys are, but the captain's behind you, above and behind at the wheel. But dynamic lighting's blocking the way.
Yep. She has a beautiful token also.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mercy, care to join us for the cards?
I don't know how to play, actually.
I can show you it'd be very easy. Do not worry.
Fine, I'll try it.
Alright. We shall play some cards, and I shall teach Mercy how to play said cards. Because I'm proficient in playing cards.
Of course you are.
Bada bing! Shit! It's SKT all over again.
Yeah, with the time remaining, you guys managed to get a couple rounds of the equivalent of blackjack done. Once you've managed to teach everyone the ways and prove that you're not stacking the deck in your favour. And after about 10-ish minutes, the ship eventually pulls into port. And now you're closer, you can see minstrels in bright clothing adorned with feathers and shells seem to be performing on street corners. Multicoloured pennants and sun awnings that flutter atop the city walls. Crowd of children dressed in feathered hats and capes. You can see racing along the docks, squealing in delighted terror. Street performer costumes as a big-toothed lizard stomps and roars behind them. The whole city seems to be bustling, sweating, laughing, swearing, and singing. And the ship pulls into dock at Port Nyanzaru. And as you step off the ship, whoops, I've scrolled the wrong thing. I will ping your location for you.
That is
Syndra says,
big city.
Yep. Syndra says, if you're looking for a raucous time, I suggest you stay at the Thundering Lizard. Otherwise, if you want a good night's sleep, Kair's House of Repose will do you well. I'll be heading to the Merchant Prince's villa, and I'm happy to introduce you, though I'm not certain if he will have any spare rooms to offer.
Everything you've done for us is greatly appreciated. Take care of yourself.
She notes that the villa she will be staying at is up here.
Alright. Can I leave a marker on it?
Yeah, sure.
Apparently I can't do text.
Actually, I know what I can do. Where is the character sheet? I'm going to drag her onto the map and mark her there so you know where she is. Shit, that's a big token. Okay, I'm going to just mark her up there for you.
Super.
Otherwise, feel free to explore the city at your leisure. I'm sure Lagotah here will be able to tell you what's required to head out into the jungle. I recommend that you get yourself a guide before you head out and survival equipment. You'll need ways to drink water that isn't going to kill you. And so a young-looking, hard to tell, but you think half-elven man rushes up and actually takes Syndra's left arm over his shoulders and supports her that way. So she can just fully lean on him for support and starts. And she looks at you and says, "If you need me, you know where to find me. Otherwise, good luck. I hope to see you again in my life."
Take good care of yourself, my lady.
I'll be in good hands.
I'll give a bow.
I'll nod.
And she, being supported, is led away.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, where should we head to first?
Probably get some accommodations. We'll need to explore the jungles. We'll need an explorer's charter. All the north of the island is claimed by the Flaming Fist, and they require people who explore to have a charter that they sell for 50 gold. I know we can acquire one at Fort what's its name?
Fort
what's its name? Bellanarium. And they might have interesting information about the place, the jungle itself.
And guides, hopefully.
Guides we might be able to find in the city.
Although where you guys are not entirely certain. You're sure if you look around, you'll be able to look around and talk to people. You'll get people to be able to point you towards them.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. I suppose there are sailors around, like.
Yes, there are sailors, and there also appears to be a fairly brightly dressed. You'd think he was a bard at first glance, but he appears to be more carrying around a load of books and seems to be trying to sell them to people nearby. There are sailors, there are minstrels, a couple of
I know what
things you recognise as tabaxi minstrels are walking around singing songs of the jungle. that kind of thing.
In the jungle, the
Uh,
mighty jungle.
Meiril, can you make me an insight check, please?
I can definitely try.
Hey,
Oh.
look at that, you can!
Give me 1 second. Okay. You can pick out, although it seems to you that most of what they're singing about is bullshit, something does ring fairly true to you in the middle of what was said, and I will PM you the approximation of the information you gathered.
Okie dokie.
And as you're listening to this, the figure with the books actually approaches you. Is approaching you.
Sir?
I do not make eye contact.
I feel like I'm too busy listening to the music at the moment with this insight check.
Yeah. And if you guys are gonna let him approach you, he stops when he says, I see we have new visitors to Port Nyanzaru. Welcome, welcome. Oh, how rude of me, I forgot to introduce myself. I am Volothan Gedarm,
You it.
Order of Deity Victorum 3rd Class, honorary member of the Dark Forces Defense League, and 5 times winner of Fair & Fortnightly's Most Charming Smile Award. But I don't talk about that. I didn't get rid of the Cormier Devour. I didn't get rid of the Cormier Devourer by smiling at them. For full details, see my published works, which you can purchase for 50 gold. And you can see in his hand, seemingly pulled from inside his outfit, he is holding a hardcover copy of Volo's Guide to Monsters. That is signed.
I hate this guy already.
Sir, do you mind if I take a quick look through to see what kind of things are inside?
Are you willing to pay for it, or are you just going to take it and try and run?
Do I strike you as that type of individual?
Everyone strikes me as that type of individual. Everyone's too eager to get a good deal rather than paying the price up front. But sure, and he flicks it open and just flips to almost a random page, and you can see it appears to be detailing information about the holders.
This could be quite useful. Wait, inside check it. Is it true information? Or is it just bullshit? Does it say anything along the lines of a beholder is very fluffy and about 3 foot high?
They make great pets.
They are completely blind. Don't double negative me like that, bro.
What?
He doesn't seem to not be...
It does not seem to be inaccurate.
He's double negative me. Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be inaccurate. It seems to be accurate.
As far as you can tell.
Yeah.
New place. It could be quite a great aid to us.
I've encountered, fought, defeated, and learned from creatures from all across the world, some of which you can find here, some of which you won't, some of which I hope you don't find here, but you might. But you're welcome to purchase it to get all the information. That'll be 50 gold, please. I've even signed it for you.
It's true, he has signed it after all.
Can I make a history check to see if I've heard of Volo?
Sure.
What is my history? Oh, my history is +1. That's a 16.
You've heard of him. He's very well known. Everyone in Waterdeep knew he was writing this book. As far as anyone knows, it contains accurate information on a lot of monsters he's encountered around the world, and some non-monsters that he decided to put in the book anyway because they appear monstrous to humans. far as anyone knows, this book is really, really damn good for adventurers.
Yeah.
I don't have money to spare on that.
And that Syndra did, will give you guys a pouch of 50 gold each.
Yeah, still.
I mean, you can always try and barter.
I'm not good at bartering.
Neither am I, really.
Nope. I don't want it anyway.
My last roll was a nat 20, so that's going to be bad for me, whatever I roll.
What's in a... Please go.
Could pull some of our money together. However, we do need to acquire that charter.
Yeah, and what's in a book you can't learn by adventuring? Actually being in the wild.
As much as I do somewhat agree with your understanding, I would rather learn something before I encounter it.
For example, if you encounter... this is not a speak, Billy. For example, if you were to encounter a troll, I'm sure you would rather know in advance that fire is an amazing way of dealing with them, rather than watching everything you do to them simply be ignored as it closes up a few seconds later. And there's
Will you take-
much worse beasties than that out here.
Will you take 40?
Roll me a persuasion, please.
No, I don't want to. I have a -1 to it, but no one else was trying.
That's actually worse than mine.
Someone who likes to drive bargain, I see. Especially considering it's signed, I'm not going to do 40. How does 45 sound?
How about 40 for an unsigned version?
All of the copies I have with me are signed.
Sneaky
It
bastard.
does.
And it flashes you a smile.
It does lower the rarity of having it signed, though.
But having a signed copy by yours truly increases the value, as the copies back in Waterdeep are not signed and don't contain all the information of the ones that I have with me. I might have removed the essential bits until they seek out a signed copy.
It's a shitty move.
I'm not sure that's very fair on your publishers, but
Roll of Fab Lockhart!
I could put most or all of the money towards it. However, I must say that I would be then reliant on the rest of you for everything else.
Should we go halves on it if the others who are on?
I'll put 10 gold in it. If it comes to it, I'm sure we can find some odd jobs in the city to replenish our funds.
Alright, 10 gold. No more.
So,
I'll take 10 from Meiril then, and then I'll put in the other 15.
I was more than happy to go with the 15, but if you wish.
Yeah, I'll do the 15.
Very well. And I shall also do a 10.
and I guess, and you hand it over, and he says, "I thank you kindly," and he passes you over your signed copy of the book. But since you have purchased a copy, I'm sure I can give you some information if you're looking for anything in particular. I see none of you have been to Port Nyanzaru before. I can see you sweating under the heat. If you'd like to know anything, I can try and give you some information. But I wouldn't be heading any further with you. I'm staying right here where it's safe and there's no one dead. And about now, you see a Triceratops.
Horde of undead!
You see a Triceratops being ridden by what looks like what you guess is a merchant with a few baskets, just sort of plod past in the alley behind him.
What the?
Wow.
Oh! I see you've seen the dinosaurs. Yeah, I'm sure the information on those will be in the book for you. DM note, I'm 90% sure there's a chapter on dinosaurs in Ballor's Guide to Monsters.
I believe there are a few additional dinosaurs in it, yes.
Yeah. There is.
Thank you kindly, good sir.
If
Is-
you're going to be looking for a guide, I would recommend you seek out Jubal. He's with the Zentarum, but he organizes all of the guides. That's how he made his fortune. Jubal.
Oh. Thank you very much for the information. Well,
In which direction can we find inns, taverns?
Second. What were the two places that Syndra recommended?
The lizards something and
the House of Repose.
House of Repose, yeah.
Thundery wizard.
This handout is not well organized. I've literally got the areas of the city map up, and I'm like, wait, is it?
It's like your own little game of Where's Waldo?
Pretty much. If I imagine it's either going to be the Merchant's Ward or in the Old City, so I need to move stuff out of my way and zoom out a bit.
I'm just hearing the metaphorical papers being moved out of the way off the desk.
Pretty much. The Merchant's Ward is up there, and the Old City is... Don't get out of my way. And the Old City is up here, outside of the main walls. So they're probably up in the Merchant's Ward, realistically. That is where they will be. They'll be up in the Merchant's District.
Alright, and if we are looking for some odd jobs that do not take up too much of our time if we need the money, do you have anything to recommend? Any place?
And you might always get involved in the dinosaur racing that's to start tomorrow. I'm sure you could make quite a killing if you pick the right mounts and could manage it well.
Why am I asking advice from Volo? What could possibly go wrong?
Gambling is a good idea right now.
Aside from that, I'm sure that a few of Jubal's guides will have ideas on what to do. I'm sure they've got their own tasks they wish to accomplish, but with their day job, they never get around to it now. I will bid you adieu, as I have more copies of my book to sell, and Volo goes wandering off away from you.
Well, I knew this map made no sense. I just noticed the compass. FFS.
Yeah, I saw that earlier as well.
Wait, where even is the compass?
Bottom right.
Bottom right.
Oh, for fuck's sake, wizards.
I know, right? I mean, it makes sense for the book because of the format.
For
but
fuck's sake, wizards.
I was like, how does that work? It's like not where it's... And then I saw it and I was like, okay.
So for those of you who have monitors and for those of you who have laptops, turn your laptop or monitor 90 degrees and leave it like that, and you'll be correct in the direction of the map.
Or control in the arrow key? Is it control? It's alt control something.
To do what? Sorry.
To
rotate
reverse
the
the
Control function arrow key. I know what you mean.
control function arrow key. That's it. Works.
if you say so. Well, I guess we're gonna move into the city proper.
You guys are in the harbour ward. Do feel free to move yourselves around on the map. I will ping you guys back to yourselves.
Yeah, they're so small.
Harbord and Warehouse District.
So around us, it's mostly docks and warehouses, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yep. So you nearly moved Hobbit into the water there.
Where'd Angren go?
Angren, Angren, it's not time for a swim.
Wiping myself off and shaking myself like a wet dog. Sorry. It just sometimes calls to me.
Yeah. Even on land, the heat is pretty sweltering. You imagine this would be almost unpleasant if there hadn't been a rainstorm earlier.
That's
You
gonna
thought
make
it was a
armor
bad idea to swim in the
fun.
heat.
Yeah.
I don't wear armor.
Well, aren't you a lucky one?
You say that, but I'm usually more of an indoor person. I do not feel the need to have to go outside into physical things.
Well, at least I do have one thing going for me. Sunburn is not really a problem.
So, shall we make our way to get some accommodation? From there, at least we'll have somewhere to work out of.
You kind of cut out, but
Merchant quarter
yeah.
or accommodation?
Yeah.
Question mark.
Mm-hmm.
So, would you guys think more like Thunderous Lizard or House of Repose? I don't-
I'm happy with whichever choice that you might desire to take.
I turn to Angren, because usually humans tend to make decisions, in my experience.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What's the choice?
Thunderous Lizards, kind of a brawly bunch. House of Repose, if we want a quieter stay.
That one sounds good.
The thundering lizard.
Yep. Whichever one's cheaper.
Good point.
Bit of a squeeze.
What is this big thing that we're walking past?
That appears to be a massive market.
Ooh.
Looks like a grand, really big market. You can see stuff like timber spices, what looks like medicines, what looks like reptile skulls, claws, iron, tiger pelts, carved ivory, handiwork by, you imagine, some of the other denizens of chalk, tropical fruit, monkeys. Looks like all the riches of chalk are on sale within this market.
We'll probably need to go back there to get some medicines for whatever common diseases and poisons are around.
Mm-hmm.
And and obviously you pass up above you in the merchant district, the place where Syndra said she was going to stay. I'm just looking at the standard guide rates, and I'm like, you.
Wait,
This way,
how
This way.
can we go through that?
Right.
Through where?
Through this.
Is that the
Yes.
bridge?
Okay.
Yeah.
That looks like that's above you. That's sort of an archway that you can head
Okay.
through. And there's a lot of locations that appear to be villas up in the merchant district above you. You're passing there what looks like a dry dock, just to your south here appears to be a dry dock. You can see there's a damaged ship that looks like it has had a bite taken out of it by a beak. So somebody didn't pay their fare to the dragon turtle. And ahead of you here looks to be a temple. To what god you're not certain. If you want to roll religion,
Sure, why not?
Angren. Angren is the cleric, might know this.
My 0 to it if I was to ever try it.
I have a 1 to it.
You recognize the icon from the little you've heard of Chult as a Chultan god by the name of Gond. Popular with artisans, craftspeople, smiths, ivory carvers, the like. You know that while most such temples would have a forge as their centerpiece, this one seems to feature an immense fountain whose water jets seem to be shifting continually to create amazing shapes.
Why am I running a mind blank? Gond is such an easy thing to make a pun out of. But I just can't.
And
You could say that my memory's gone. Got it!
Actually, in French, it's even worse.
for fuck's sake. And in case you want to know what the natives to Chult look like,
Neat.
just trying to find the particular.
I'm gonna point out,
as-
I look like a fucking milk bottle in comparison to all of these. Like vanilla ice cream.
You mean like your actual self?
Yes.
And as you guys head up towards the merchant district, you see what looks to be a white-skinned dwarf, almost an albino dwarf, actually hails you as you get to about there and says, "You look like you're travelers new to this land. You looking for a guide by chance?"
It'll be that easy to spot.
I look at you.
Okay, I get it. I get it. Christ, he's
What he
actually
looks like.
whiter than me.
He's an albino dwarf.
I suppose I don't look like an albino in comparison to all the people.
Are you offering?
If you want to step over here out of the thoroughfare, I'm sure we can work something out.
Can I inside check that?
Yeah, that feels like such code from what I'm used to.
Sure.
14.
I'm going to tell you straight up. Seems completely genuine. Seems like he legitimately just wants to be out of the main thoroughfare so that you don't get knocked over by dinosaurs. And you can see there appears to be a young Allosaurus being led out of the merchant district towards where you guys are at the
Let's
moment.
go. Let's get out of this.
Kind of looks like a carnival.
That's after you.
And he just leads you over to the side so you're not going to be flattened by the dinosaur, and he says, "Muraship's the name. The jungle's my home. I know it well. I can guide you anywhere in Chult for a fee of 5 gold pieces a day. If adventure is what you... Muraship. No, so it's... Musharib.
Oh.
It's in the handover.
Yeah.
Hand
Oh
up.
yeah, I was too busy in that gleaming face of his to realise his name.
I can guide you anywhere in Chult for a fee of 5 gold pieces a day, part of which will go to Jabal, the rest of which... Well, I hope to one day reclaim Harkamar, my clan's ancestral forge. Volcanic eruption forced us to abandon it many years ago. The fire newts that have since taken over must be driven out or destroyed. At the very least, we must sneak in and recover a relic known as Moradin's Gauntlet. The fire newts must not be allowed to keep it. If you love Dwarvenkind, then hear my plea, and join me in returning Harkamar to its rightful owners. I'll waive my fee for your promise of assistance.
How long would that little expedition take us?
Depending where you want to go in the jungle, it might not be too far off course, or it might be the other side of the peninsula. We're going to have to travel through the territory anyway, and I'm happy to take you to the landmarks and stop so you can explore it. However, we'll make our way there. It'll probably take a couple weeks at least. Getting anywhere in short is not easy.
Do you know how long it takes to get to... I will get it right. Fort Bellarian from
Fort
here.
Bellarian, it will take about 5 days on foot, 3 on ship, if memory serves. I'm certain the Fist will have an outpost in the city to purchase a contract of exploration from.
What would Jobal think of you waiving your fee?
Considering the treasure within Rakmar, I'm sure I can appease him. Besides, my main reason for becoming a guide is to recover our ancestral home. Jesus Christ, I hadn't realized how far Rakmar actually is from Port Nyanzaru. About 400 miles as the crow flies. I've just done the measuring.
Don't suppose I know anything more about the place, the artifact, and his people? From like any stories or...
Roll me a history check, please. And have a copy of Mushrib's handout.
My luck ran out.
You haven't heard of this before. Chilton geography and locations are alien to you.
Yeah.
Most of the other guides require 30 days up front and charge the exact same price as I do.
So 60 gold. No.
Yes. 5 gold a day, 30 days up front, so...
60
yes.
gold? I can maths, right?
150.
150.
I cannot math.
Yeah, they require... most of the other guys require 150 gold up front. Mushrib will not.
Can we take a little time to think it over?
Of course, I'll be around this area if you come back looking for me.
We will be in touch, Sir Dwarf.
As this conversation's been going by, a couple more minstrels have gone wandering past down the thoroughfare from where you guys were hailed from. Can one of you please roll me an insight check just to see if you picked up anything?
I can do it.
I picked up nothing.
I mean, multiple people? Advantage? Question mark?
Let the cleric do it.
With the conversation that was going on, you didn't really pick up anything. Your focus was distracted.
If it's insight, I am proficient. Just
I'll allow it. Just see if you caught anything from it.
God damn.
Okay.
Wisdom. Let the cleric do it.
Well, the monk! He's a monk. He has good wisdom too. There's one difference between the two of them.
Someone's been rolling that rubbish. Someone hasn't today.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you got me there.
That's what you picked up of it.
Okay. Interesting. I'll let the party know when we start moving on, not tell them what we're moving.
Yeah. And as a note, it seems like every building here seems to have a cistern or wooden barrels that look like they're to catch water running off the roof. And every public square that you've passed seems to be built around a fountain or rain base.
I want to take a mental note of what these people look like for if I ever need to find them again.
What, Mushrib or the minstrels?
The minstrels.
Oh, there's lots of minstrels just generally wandering around.
Okay.
To the Thundering Lizard, was it?
Believe so, yes.
Thundering, yeah.
Are you going to ask Musharib where it is, or are you just going to try and find it?
Sure, no, we'll ask him. I'll ask him.
Are you asking for the Gentle House of Repose as well, or just the Thundering Lizard?
We're asking for the cheapest.
Yeah, that will be the Thundering Lizard, which is over... actually right near the old city. I'm on the measuring tool. Right there.
All the way around, boys and girls. All the way around.
I mean,
back
there's
to
always a
the
chance that wherever Syndra is staying might house you, but you know.
Yeah.
You do realize there is a text tool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm leaning on one arm, so I'm doing with one hand. It's just easier to go to yeah, done.
I thought that was
There's
like
more movement.
I thought it was a T and then someone drew an extension onto it. I suppose we head back down and head that way.
Yeah.
Yep. Give me a second. Okay. Just trying to find something. Yeah. So I was just looking for something. Whereabouts are you guys?
Down by that bridge archway thing.
As we're walking, as you're looking, then I heard of them talking about the great god Ubatu. Have you heard of that at all?
Ubtao.
Who?
Ubtao. That's how I pronounce it.
Okay.
Ubtao.
Any of you heard of that name before?
Have we?
What have I?
Make a religion check.
Everyone or just him?
Anyone can
Never
make
heard of it. That's a nat one. Die.
Did you just banish the die to the Shadow Realm?
Yep.
Yeah, as you
It
did.
nat one after rolling me a nat 2 on my insight check.
Well, this god loves mazes, and if we happen to find a maze of any kind and trace our path through it, we'll earn his favor by doing so.
The gods work in weird ways.
Yeah. What that favor is, I don't know, but it could be fun if we ever find one.
Actually, now that you mentioned that, I was gonna wait until we got to somewhere a bit more quiet, but to be fair, the hustle and bustle is probably makes a good guise as any. Back at the docks, those bardic tales and whatnot, one of them struck more truth than the others, actually. There's an order, very imaginatively named the Order of the Gauntlet, actually, apparently came over here to take care of the undead problem in the jungle. According to that tale, they actually lost one of their encampments recently and are just barely hanging on for their dear life. That minstrel, wherever he said, apparently saw them emissaries all the time heading up the river, butchering the name, Sushenstar. Yeah, I'm sure that's how it said. In canoes to get more supplies and Templars from here. It could be something that might aid us in finding out the source of this undead problem, or the curse. It's just another lead, I guess.
Yeah, they might have some information.
Also, any enemy of the undead, I'd like to say, is an ally of ours. Helping them out might be a good benefit to us in the long run.
True. Why do I see no one connected on the Roll20?
Yeah, I can only see 2 people.
I can only see myself
Oh,
and...
it just said my connection to the server has been interrupted.
That's swear to God if it disconnects me.
Yeah, it's just disconnected me.
I
So.
think it's disconnected everybody. God damn it, now we
There,
need to-
I see everyone.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
see everyone too.
You wanna know what the odd part is? Me of all people was not disconnected.
So it was your fault.
Probably.
As you guys are having this conversation,
I imagine we're walking and talking, by the way.
yeah.
Yeah.
About 100 feet behind where you are, you hear exclamations of "Oh fuck!" and you then hear what sounds like a very berserk roar as a Triceratops has apparently been whipped too hard starts chasing towards you.
I'm going to bail out that
Can
way.
I get everybody to roll initiative, please?
Okay.
Well, that's wonderful
Fuck's
initiative.
We are into a chase situation.
Shit.
I am
Well,
so fucked because I just rolled a 3, so that's an initiative of 2.
Now here's the problem. I know I can get away from this thing because I don't need to run faster than it. I just need to run faster than all of you. But I like you
You're on
guys.
turn order.
Thank you.
Wait, what are your movement speeds? Because I might be in trouble here.
30.
I can move 40.
Ladies? Movement speeds?
And
30.
30.
and the Triceratops has actually started moving towards you, but that's taken pretty much its entire turn. So, Mercy.
Right, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna.
You're going to.
I'm gonna dash that way, just in the corner.
Okay.
Sounds
You're gonna
good.
corner yourself.
Can
Yeah.
you roll me a. Actually, no. Gotta wait for the end of the turn. It is 50 feet. It's moving. Whee! Angren.
I mean, we can dash. Remember?
Yeah. Okay, 60. Do I need to
realised-
round the corner? No, I'm going this way.
I could go 120 feet if I wanted.
I'll get to there, and I will shout to you guys. I will meet you at the thing if we get split up. Shit.
Mercy.
No,
Oh,
Meryl.
Meryl.
I'm going to try.
Mercy's on the turn order twice. Give me 1 second.
What?
It's because the roll test
Yeah.
the other day. It's fine. Meryl.
I'm gonna try and like whistle and like wave and get this thing's attention as an action, I guess.
Okay.
To try and attract it towards me and then bolt my 40. That's 50 feet.
God.
My 40 feet to there. So just-
And Lagotah.
I'm going there. I measured it earlier.
Okay. Can each of you except Meryl please make me a stealth check? With advantage.
Means you have to roll again, or same?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Because that's actually a straight roll for me.
Meryl, you are the only one still in the chase situation.
okay. This is fine.
It's the Triceratops, which is going to move.
Just short.
Yep.
Triceratops doesn't make a dash action?
Don't give
It's
him
just-
ideas.
It's moving at full speed. It's not dashing. It's already catching you at like 10 feet around.
Yeah, I'm okay. For my turn, then I'm gonna you see, I don't know where I'm gonna be able to lead this thing to make it stop charging. But I'm gonna run and then dash. And I've gotta think of something.
Well, that's why
That's
my
all I
aim
got.
was to lead it this way. It's
Uh,
like, oh, it's run out of room. I was just going to dive in the water.
I mean, there's not very much that it can do except just keep moving. You never went out of sight, so you still don't get to roll a stealth check.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not expecting to roll a stealth check yet.
Oh.
Ex-
All you really need to do is get out of sight. It's only got a passive perception of 10.
The thing is, I don't want this thing to go on rampage on random people.
You can see that the handlers are trying to chase after it, but they're still
Oh, in that case,
several rounds away.
Make it run in circles.
don't tempt me. I'm gonna use my shadow arts to cast darkness and basically smoke cloud myself.
I hate you.
15-foot radius sphere. I'm gonna place it on myself, and then what is that? I don't know if that's what type of action that is. I guess I'll just say standard for now. I think because it's.
Darkness is an action.
And I'm going to run 40 feet to there.
Okay. Triceratops does keep moving, and can you make me a stealth check as it enters the darkness?
Please ignore that. I was trying to do a thing, but it's no measuring. Stealth check.
Yep.
Oh my shitting god. Please
Okay.
tell me I have advantage because it's blind, maybe, I hope. Yeah.
Triceratops is actually gonna dash, and as it comes out, it's kind of making a trampling charge on you. I'm assuming. Oh fuck! I'm assuming a 21 hits you.
Sorry?
I'm assuming that a 21 hits you.
Yeah.
That's 27 points of piercing damage.
Guys,
Yeah,
Already? Already
go
down?
back to
Closer.
initiative.
guess who's
But
unconscious?
I'm
Oh
a
god.
bit far away.
I know I should have used the key
Right
point dash.
there.
And as its bonus action, as it's trampling you as it runs past, 2 failed death saves.
Can I run up to him and cast Spare the Dying?
You're too far away right now, Meiril.
I know, but you took us out of initiative, so we couldn't do anything off.
Yeah, could we?
Because I would have followed behind it to check what was going on, make sure everything was safe.
You guys are welcome to follow behind. The initiative only matters these two. I do still need a death. Spare the Dying, I believe, is a touch cantrip.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the Triceratops is kind of on top of him right now. So I do need a death save.
So you got cut out for my end there.
I do need a death save from the Spare the Dying. It's a touch range cantrip.
Oh, right.
It's been bowling random people that didn't get out of the way in time, out of the way and squishing them as it's been running through. As a note. That's a pass. And it just charges onwards and continues down the street. Yes, you can make your Spare the Dying.
Does this one work if I do it straight from the thingy or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, range touch. Well, at least
Right.
you're stable.
Hang on, gotta change the name of this.
This is going to Spare the Umbra. Oh, yep. Well, that was worrying.
Oh, I spelled the name wrong. Whoops.
The Triceratops continues.
It's still trembling a lot of people, right?
Yeah. Well, anyone that still hasn't gone out of the way is now getting squished.
Well, fuck.
This is what happens when I find my encounters in Port Nyanzaru PDF and someone whips the Triceratops too hard.
Well, now I feel like I should have done something more. These handlers are useless.
I tried. I failed.
And you can actually hear shouting from the guard as it's rushing away.
Can I see the owner of the thing?
Oh,
Anywhere?
he's gone sprinting past as well.
Yeah.
Looks like he's chasing his dinosaur.
How is he?
Who is that to?
To our cleric. Angren?
He'll be fine. Well, suppose I should. And cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay. And Meiril, you are conscious with 10 HP.
That was not nice. Oh.
Yeah,
12. No, wait. 13 even, you have.
Yeah, it kind of gored you with its horn and then stomped on you while you were down.
I told you. I'm not used to the outdoors.
Next time the giant monster runs at you, dodge.
I tried. It's hard to dodge those things. They're big.
You called it to you.
To save you guys.
We
As
were
I'm dusting
fine.
myself off now.
Worry more about yourself. You can't be of any help if you're dead.
I wasn't intending to die, if I'm going to be straight honest with you. I could really use with a rest right now, though.
Well, it's a good thing we're heading towards the end then.
I shall limp towards where we need to go.
Yep. And you guys start moving on towards where you've been told the name's failing me. Sorry.
Thundering Lizard.
Thundering Lizard, thank you. Where the Thundering Lizard is, as you guys head on, it actually starts raining.
Are we following the path of destruction still?
Thank goodness.
There is a heavy rain now coming down. You are all drenched.
Gonna take off a slight more of a
This
jog.
place is wonderful, don't you think?
Oh, definitely not my cup of tea, I will tell you that much.
Welcome to afternoon thunderstorms, kids. I might have rolled a 19 and a 20 when checking for what the weather was.
I don't know if I like this or the heat storm more.
And it's still hot, but this is at least partially cooling. And you guys make your way to the tavern, and I've noticed that Mercy's token still looks really squished. And
Oh yeah.
you guys are heading inside?
Yeah, what is that? That looks partially destroyed.
That looks like a looks like a ruined or under construction building. It's a little hard to tell either way, but looks like it's just sort of partially under construction.
Okay.
You guys head inside?
Yep.
I am.
As you head inside, the atmosphere is loud and fairly rowdy. It reminds you of the busiest taverns back in Waterdeep. And it's loud, it's rowdy, people are drinking what you guess passes for ale in these parts. And you can see there's a barmaid behind the bar, And it also looks like they've got a separate place for people booking rooms or needing places to stay.
I'll take a seat somewhere.
You're taking a seat at the bar or
The closest seat.
Just the closest seat.
okay. You step inside the door on the left. You step to the left inside the door to the bar area, which is basically the place where the actual tavern part rather than the inn part. If that makes sense. You can really easily find seats, and about a minute or so passes if no one else is doing anything, and a looks like a different barmaid, the one behind the bar, comes over and says, "Ah, new customers. Are you wanting to order some Tej, or are you just waiting to be served for a room?"
Hedge?
It's what you Outlanders would think of as ale for these parts. We make it from honey and a few other ingredients. Much better than beer or ale.
I'll have one of that.
I will certainly give one of those a try.
Yep, me too.
That would be 4 copper per mug. 4 copper per mug. Please. 4 copper per mug, for fuck's sake.
I'll put 1 gold piece down and say, I'll get this round. As I have no less currency than a gold piece.
Gold piece doesn't... Oh yeah, it totally covers around, sorry.
She takes it and gives you your change. So that's what 4 mugs would be 16 copper. So that's what 1 silver, 6 copper. So that's what 8 silver, 4 copper change.
Mhm.
Yeah. She gives you 8 silver and 4 copper back and thanks you. And says, "I'll be back in just a minute or two with your drinks."
Thank you kindly. I must admit, last time I've been in an establishment like this was when one of the nobles that I was advisoring, their daughter decided to go on a bit of a rebellious phase, wanted to be taken to an establishment like this, and needless to say, I had to keep her out of trouble the entire night.
And did you?
You keep people out of trouble.
Oh,
More
yes,
like he
I
got her into more trouble.
Come now. I do my job when it's at stake. There might have been many, many individuals that decided to pick a fight with the wrong individual that might know their way around a few fisticuffs, but that was their lesson to learn. The noblewoman was untouched.
And it's about now you see the barmaid coming back with your drinks. And she plops down 4 mugs of what looks like an amber-coloured fermented drink.
Thank you kindly.
Enjoy your stay. Just head up to the bar if you want to order another drink if I don't get a chance to come round to you. We're pretty busy today.
Do you have any rooms available? Words,
That we
voice.
do. I'm sure if you go and ask the associate that's wandering around in the other half of the building, he'll be able to direct you. Just be aware that generally the drinking and the partying goes on all night.
Are there a lot of people in the tavern? Also, what time of day is it?
It's early afternoon, about 2-3 in the afternoon at the moment, and this tavern seems pretty busy. It's not jam-packed, but most of the tables have people, it's loud, they're drinking. Looks like everyone's having a pretty good time.
Is it the sort of place, if we actually try and get a night's sleep, we're going to not sleep at all and end up with exhaustion?
No.
Okay. Just checking.
How's the drink?
Ballor?
So 1 sec.
Indeed.
Okay.
Oh, 1 sec.
That bad, eh?
I'm answering a PM. My apologies.
Okay.
The drink it's a different taste than you're used to. You can definitely taste the honey that it's been brewed with. It's not bad. It's up there with some of the best ales you've had, but it's down to your personal preferences as to whether you prefer this to ale or not. But it's pretty good, especially for the price.
I'm quite a fan, actually.
What was it called again?
Tej, Tej.
Ooh.
If I might ask, Lagotah, what is your connection with the lady, if I may pry?
She is sort of my patron, if you want. Usually people like me don't really get proper military training, and she actually sponsored me.
I see. That definitely explains your closeness to her.
I do owe her a lot.
I shall cheers to that. If I may ask how the rest of you actually came to know the lady.
It's a very
I
good
don't
question.
really. Just some odd jobs in here and there. I don't really know her.
Same for me, really. Money was money. Took whatever job was going. Then
Yep.
got the invitation.
Wow. Lucky us that it happened to be just a sporting few of us then.
What about you?
Lucky for you, or you could be dead right now.
Very true. I don't work alone in my line of work. That's kind of an incorrect statement. We usually do work alone, but there are many others. I happen to just have a connection through her, through my peers. Acquaintances and knowing through the grapevine, as I believe it said.
Your peers.
Yes.
She kind of looks at you like expecting you to elaborate.
I suppose I can trust you all by this point now. We've gone on odd jobs together here and there. I can't imagine many of you possibly selling me out, right?
Depends. How much you worth?
I'm just looking around
Yeah,
warily.
that's exactly what I was wondering.
After my comment before in the ladies' briefing area, I made a comment about my brethren, shall we say. He sort of pulls up a sleeve on his right arm to show a tattoo marked on his lower forearm of the symbol of the Harpers.
For a moment, I was afraid you would be with the Zentarim.
Sorry?
For a moment, I was afraid you would be with the Zentarim. Zentharim? However you pronounce it.
I I would say it's Zentaran, but yeah.
So what does that tattoo mean? No. I'm not familiar with it.
That's
Actually, I don't know if Lagotah would know about the harpers.
let's just say we work behind the scenes to make everything fair. Power shouldn't be held in very many one location, and no one should get too powerful, no one should be too weak.
So,
I have just happened to make sure that balance of power is, well, as I say, promptly balanced.
sounds fair to me.
There are a few. Indeed.
I'm not sure there's such a thing as fairness.
It's a difficult thing to get. I do understand, but we do try.
If we're being open about our connections, I am also a member of the Flaming Fist. They are a mercenary faction that are very loyal to Baldur's Gate, which is the region I'm from.
I'm familiar with. I've done a bit of work over at Baldur's Gate. Lovely place.
And they have a lot of power over this civilized part of Chult. At least the northern part of Chult. They're trying to expand. This is the people we need to get a charter from. Players' memory being stupid. Did Musha thingy, the
Musharib.
dwarf, Musharib, say anything about getting us a charter, or is that still on us?
He said there's probably somewhere in the city that
Right.
you would be able to get one, perhaps. Well, I'm sure one of the merchant princes would be able to get it to you. There's probably other places where there will be people selling them, though how reputable those people are remains to be seen.
Does the Flaming Fist have like an outpost in the port?
Not within Port Nyanzaru itself. There will occasionally be members of the Flaming Fist, and they sometimes obviously have to trade for goods, but there's not normally a Flaming Fist presence in the city.
Well, it's good to know that we have an ally who has friends with such a...
I am not an influent member.
But can
But-
you get us a discount?
I don't know. I can try. I can't guarantee it. What I could get us is information.
Information is always good.
But the only place that I know for sure we can get that information and that explorer's chart would be Fort thingy. I cannot remember that name.
Beluarian.
Thank you. I need to write it down on my cheat sheet.
Maybe.
Would this be classified as a short rest, by the way?
Yeah, the amount of time you're going to spend in here.
Can the lady get us a charter? Maybe if she reside at one of the merchant prince, was it?
We can ask. I believe it isn't that far from here, although...
Closer than
This
Fort
map! This
Ballorian.
map! Like, do we need to go through the merchant part to get to the prince's part?
There will be people you meet along the way, but we can probably skip the exact movements.
Okay.
I will be when you guys head out of the inn. I'll be calling the break.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we should get rooms first.
Unless Prince Wakanga Otamu can put us for the night.
Yeah, that would be nice. Spare a bit of money.
Lady Sylvain said it was not a guarantee, though.
Have we got time to head to the Merchant Prince and come back here if need be?
But yeah, you've easily got enough time. It's still early afternoon.
All right.
Shall we?
Sure.
Do you want me to book us some rooms and then catch you up? I don't think we booked any rooms yet, unless I missed that.
I think they were. I think that was the point of what they were saying.
We head to see if we can get rooms at where Sylvain is, and then if not, then we can come back here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
Is that you back to full health, Umbra?
Yes.
Okay, noted.
8 and a 3 was exactly what I needed to get back to
Nice.
Alright, I suppose we head over to
Okay.
Sylvain's.
And with you guys heading back out of the Thundering Lizard, I'm going to call the session break there. We will resume at 9. If you need to get a drink or quick snack or whatever, feel free to do that now.
Thank you.
Alrighty. I will do that now.
Yeah, be right back.
Prep some.
Alrighty.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I like how my partial discreeting kind of, you're not gonna rat me out. Everyone's like, oh shit, he's that really shitty guild.
I might or might not be in the middle of setting up the Merchant Prince's map.
The Flaming Fist,
Yes.
it doesn't seem to be on one of these factions. Is it a separate side one?
Yes, it is. It is a faction that's been introduced with TOA and
Right.
is exclusively lower to Baldur's Gate. It is a Baldur's Gate faction, and they have hired mercenaries for the stuff in short.
Gotcha.
So that's why, if you're trying to look on the wiki for information about them, it's not there.
Oh, it's just because it's the dd.wizards.com story faction things that has like the others, like the Zentarum and the Harpers and whatnot.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, it's the TOA exclusive faction.
Oh, cool.
Some of us are really well connected here. It's nice.
You say well connected to the one person that's a harper and then almost always work alone. glad that we've got a Flaming Fist member, though.
Yeah.
I gave people the chance to choose if they were a member of the faction or not.
Yeah.
I've been quietly doing prep along the side. Don't mind me. Where is the handout that I really, really wanted? It is that one.
It's also quite fitting as well, considering I'm a half-elf, and the Harpers have elven roots.
All right.
It's a moon and a harp
Oh.
is the symbol of the tattoo.
Fuck's sake, Tomb of Annihilation.
There we go.
Scary DM is scary.
I should have trolled people. I should have just posted the Zentaur and banner and be like, "That's what you see on his arm."
On his ass.
Quick question for a life cleric with the domain spells. Are they included within your daily spell list, or are they on top of?
On top of.
Okay. And I am 6 spells short. Not because of that, I forgot I get spells equal to wisdom modifier plus cleric level. I didn't read that part until just now. I need another 6 spells.
Now, whereabouts did I post the Voro's disclaimer? I think I PM'd it straight to Umbra.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I meant to PM the Volo's disclaimer and ended up not doing it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I haven't received anything.
What do you think of Tomb of Annihilation so far?
Very nice.
It's seems so far decently sandbox-ish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very
Good so
sandboxy.
far. Just shame about the DM, if anything.
Can't see the upper finger. He's got the middle finger right now.
Do you know which finger I wear this ring on? Actually enough, I do wear my ring on my middle finger. But yeah, decent amount of quite clear plot hooks. I like the little tidbits of information that seem to be cropping up from the minstrels.
I'm back.
Yeah, I'm using the minstrels as the delivery mechanism for that information. Basically, if you want to try and find information about the jungle, you're meant to have a listen to just what's being said around the town and then insight check it to see whether you actually pick up anything of use.
Yeah, no, I like that. I do like the delivery method of that.
Well, we could still stop and ask.
Yep. Let's just, I've got an idea, guys. Let's just today, we take the day off, we just go people watching, and then we just check everything. We know everything about the jungle.
What we do need is to get someone who knows stuffs. Actually, probably ask several people and make up a list of all the things that we should acquire before heading to the jungle. Like we'll need to make sure that we have decent food and water. That's for sure. But there might be.
Yeah, because in this party we don't have a ranger and a druid that can feed this small village.
Okay.
We do have a cleric that has access to purify food and water.
Literally reading that spell as we speak.
It's a ritual too.
All the magic food.
It's a ritual?
Yep.
Okay, so
It's useless usually.
So I need to start banging things out. What do we need? What do we need? I got 2 of Annihilation to-do list right here. Shout things out.
Okay.
What do we need? What do we need? 2 of Annihilation to-do list right here. I got 2 of Annihilation to-do list right here. Shout things out. What do we need? What do we need? 2 I got 2 of Annihilation to-do list right here. Shout things out.
I mean, you only need equipment to survive in the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's survival gear / equipment.
I mean, from the DM, my list would be survival gear, as you've said, place to stay, way of making money, charter of exploration, and you're gonna fucking need a guide.
Tents would be good.
I got that under survival gear and equipment, I imagine.
Yeah.
Albino.
Also, I could not resist making Volaroy Lockhart appear.
It is perfect for him.
Yeah.
I love the reaction of "I hate him already." Sorry, funny idea. Because if he's Volaroy Lockhart, that means he knows modify memory. Cough.
We could look into more guide offers.
Yeah.
I don't think
Probably
jumping on the
should.
first person we find is the best
Yeah.
idea.
That's reasonable. It's just
Yeah.
note that we've got at the moment.
Maybe one not connected with the center.
Wait.
I mean, Mushroob isn't connected to Zentarum.
Jawball is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jobal is.
And pretty much any
I
guide
think-
is connected to Jawball.
I didn't catch that. I must have DC'd when that was said.
Jawball is basically at the head of all the guides.
Oh.
And
Zola
he
said that he's
he is
working with
connected,
the Zents.
yeah.
Which, considering your allegiance, Mr. Harper,
The Zents are
Considering-
basically the mafia.
yeah, Zents and Harpers are basically mortal enemies, as you can work out.
It's funny when they're forced to work together, though.
Oh God, I'd be afraid.
They just spit in each other's drinks when the other isn't looking.
I mean, there are things that are not good for people
Bless
and
you.
also not good for business, so...
Yeah. Need to find... Because it is something that is on there if worst comes to worst.
And may or may not be trying to throw the guides at you that are actually interesting.
That are actually what?
Interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
Right. Any other edits I need to make?
Well,
Uptao.
that's entirely up to you guys.
The god is Uptao. I don't know how you write it, but I know how you pronounce it.
Oh.
Okay, sorry, got it wrong.
Thought it had a
Not
L in
Uptown!
Meryl. Meryl,
Don't do this to me. It was funny. You laughed.
take some DM inspiration.
Okay, good.
And with some psychic damage.
Damn it! Was that 1 point?
Yes.
Worth it, I got inspiration.
If you do something wacky enough to make me laugh, since you guys don't have a bard, I'm handing out inspiration again.
Okay, I haven't missed anything, have I?
I think so.
May we have a pin on that, if you could be so kind?
Oh yeah, pin it.
Nice.
Pinning what?
The to-do list.
The list.
Oh, okay.
The name's Silas Meiril. Nice to meet you. Secretary extraordinaire. If you know a tiefling that's looking for someone to work for them, I'm right here to get my job replaced by an orc.
Remember that COS occurred a couple hundred years ago compared to where you guys are. Your old characters are out here somewhere in this world.
In this
Mine
world?
Or dead.
Mine aren't.
I mean, they're dying, but it's only been 2 months since White Plume Mountain.
Mm.
I mean, that's like 60 HP, isn't it?
The curse has only been active for 20 days.
Oh, yeah. Herder.
Hodor.
Alright.
Anyway,
You're good to go and set off to Sylvain.
so you guys head on out of the Thundering Lizard, having thoroughly enjoyed your Tej and an hour of each other's company. And outside, it looks like the rain's abated. It's just a light drizzle now. Still enough to take away some of the oppressiveness of the heat, but ugh, it's still hot and nasty. Welcome to Chult. And as you head outside, you can hear and see what look like a couple of walking, talking cats shouting, "Anyone looking for a guide? Need a guide for the jungle? Come talk to River Mist and Flask of Wine." Those are actually their names. I fucking love Tabaxi.
River what?
River Mist and Flask of Wine. I love Tabaxi.
Shall we approach them?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see what they have to offer.
So as you approach them and get their attention, the one on the left, which is the orange Tabaxi, the one on the right is a white Tabaxi. Just to make it easier, River Mist is on the left, Flask of Wine is on the right. So actually, River Mist starts talking. "Beware, Jabal, there's no good flunkies." Flask of Wine takes over. "That merchant prince is as trustworthy as a sack of snakes, as are most of his guides. If you choose us, we will never lead you astray. River and Flask are up to the task. That's our motto. Chult is our playground. We're fast, reliable, and know what we're doing. 5 gold pieces a day and 30 day advance what Jabal's flunkies demand. We're happy to serve as guides for only 4 gold a day, with no payment up front. Even better, we'll waive the fee entirely for equal shares of whatever treasures we help find."
I mean, I love these two to bits, but it's a new place, so I'm still going to inside check it just to be careful.
They both seem to be entirely telling the truth.
Does seem like another good deal.
Yeah.
I don't know why I
does.
just mimicked. Yeah, I just caught that as well. That's not the accent that's appropriate for this campaign.
I love Tabaxi names. Fucking hell.
Is one of them wearing an eye patch?
Let me take another look at River Mist's actual character sheet, but I don't think so. No, yes, he is.
Lovely.
What do you say to them? Oh no, River Mist is a she, and yes, she's wearing leather armor and an eye patch.
Why do you dislike Jobal so much?
We hold our business away from the Merchant Prince. We don't like having to give up the parts of the jungle that we've recovered to one who just squanders it on needless wares from outside the continent and doesn't even attempt to defend the city from the undead attacks.
Does it get you into trouble, though, to not be affiliated with him?
Only if Jabal finds out.
Shouting in the street is a good way of keeping a low profile?
Most adventurers from outside find it in their best interest to keep quiet that we don't pay to Jabal. Besides, we're just two tabaxi. Why would he care that we're not paying him dues when he rakes in all the profit from every other guide that goes out, including that albino dwarf and the idiot that's managed to catch mad monkey fever?
I'm sorry, mad monkey fever?
You've come to Chult without knowing that the jungle itself is diseased and will give you it as quickly as it can?
I mean, we could assume, but we don't really know the finer details.
Mad monkey fever? Well, if you haven't guessed from the name, it makes you mad as a monkey and very liable to get yourself killed doing something stupid as you've gone insane.
Charming. I love this place already.
I'm glad to hear you like our home. Flask.
Very much seeking refuge of Baldur's Gate again. What have I got myself into?
If you're interested, we can guide you to the grung city of Dungrung Lang. You know, a few different places in...
We've lost
That is
Umbra.
actually it.
Yeah. Can you say that again, please?
I'll die.
Dungrung Lang. That's actually the place's name. Or we can guide you to the Firefinger, or pretty much anywhere else that you might be interested in the jungle. Is there anything you lovely people are particularly interested in discovering out in our peninsula's fine jungle that's totally not full of any undead dinosaurs ever?
I like them.
They're not even. He's not even attempting to hide the fact that, by the way,
Yeah.
there are undead dinosaurs here.
This place is just getting worse and worse.
It is.
Then a little
There,
better with the
there.
names, then worse again. I'm sorry, I need to compose myself. Where might we find you again if we would like to seek out your services?
If we're not around here, where we are generally trying to get customers from the Thundering Lizard, you'll be able to find us out by Executioner's Run.
Sounds like a delightful place.
Oh, it is. You get to watch people get eaten alive by dinosaurs for crimes they commit in the city.
That was sarcasm, but okay.
The back CEO.
I'm just turn to the party with a.
I fucking love these two.
Don't commit crimes, and you'll be fine.
Too much. In case you're wondering, I'm going to give you a handout for River Mist and a handout for Flask of Wine.
I love them.
Yeah.
And yes, the city's name that they mentioned is actually called Dungrung Lang.
That's the curfew, so I'm trying to be quiet.
And what can we find in Dangwennang?
It's the main city of the Grungs and their king, Grok. And they worship the goddess Nang Nang. And from what we hear, their king wishes to mate with her. The Grungs are weird and generally unpleasant to deal with, though adventurers like yourselves might be able to give them a hand with whatever the Artsie king wants to do in Dunwang Lang.
I'm sorry, when you said that there was a lot of grungs there and their king, and I was just thinking, is their king called Dung, and then their god called Lung? King Dung of the Grungs who worship Lung. Why is that not a thing?
No, he worships Nung Nung.
Nang Nang, yeah. Then some adventurers, for whatever reason they've chosen to, have asked us to take us there so we can show them the maze outside the city. Besides that, I can't really think what you want to do there unless you want to get some of their poison, which is very efficient on the living, or just see the Grungs and Dunwang in general. But there are other places in the jungle. Just what are you interested in? We'll see if we know anything.
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
You need to get out more, you know that.
I do. I really do.
Is that in or out of character?
Both. I will keep you informed.
You know where to find us if you're interested. And they let you go. I'd love to backsy.
I have added information about Dunwang Long to our...
We're definitely going there.
Just make sure it's at a time when I can't make it to session or you're never going to get anything done. Okay, so to the merchant prince then?
Yep.
Yeah. We'll eventually have to tell someone what we're looking for.
Yes, but maybe once we're sure we can trust them.
Agreed.
Are we ever sure?
No. But still, telling absolutely everyone we run into what we're looking for is certainly
I
not
agree.
the best idea. I'm not sure which route we need to take.
Based on the looks of it, you'd need to loop round where you got chased by the Triceratops, round up and across the bridge to get to the place where Syndra's staying. Based on the look of it, of course.
Yeah.
I'm just going to figure out who exactly. So I'm just trying to find out a small piece of information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do we need to go all the way, or can you put
no,
us
you guys
somewhere?
can skip. Although as you guys get into the area of the merchant district up above, I'll actually. You guys move. Let me move you because I want to save you time doing this.
Thank you.
As you guys enter the area where Syndra said it should be staying, one more guide hails you, looks like a human woman, and says, "Looking for a guide for the jungle? I'm sure I've got something to offer."
Please, let's hear it.
I am Salida, I've led many expeditions through the wilds of Chult. I know secret trails that appear on no map. Hire others at your own peril. Azaka and Iku have led expeditions into the jungle that never returned. Varul and Gondola were charlatans, plain and simple. Old Hugh suffers from mad monkey fever, I'm sure of it. Musharib is an albino dwarf, and they're not to be trusted. I hear tell that River Mist and Flask of Wine owe money to the Zentarum. 5 gold pieces per day is a cheap price to pay for your lives. Spend your gold wisely.
Can I inside check the secret paths part?
Go for it. Seems like she reckons she'll be able to find paths through the jungle to get to wherever you want to go, potentially more efficiently than the other guides.
Could we do anything to reduce the price a bit?
Without speaking to Jabal and paying his and persuading him to reduce his fees, I'm afraid I don't have much to offer.
Oh,
Is
so
there
you're working for Jabal too?
all of us except the two Tabaxia. Why Jabal lets them keep doing it, well, who knows. And yeah, I've given you Sully the hand up. Whereabouts are you guys looking for in the jungle of Chult? I'm sure I can give you a estimation of what you'll be able to find.
Don't think we've got anywhere in particular as of right now.
So you just you just come to the city, potentially looking for a guide to the jungle. You don't even know where you want to go. I'm sure I can find something of interest.
What do you suggest?
There's the Grung city of Dungrung Lung. There's that Heart of Ubtao, though I hear that's not such a good place to go with the undead.
The heart of Umbra?
City. It's a rock formation. Floats in the sky, though with the undead infestation, it's not a safe place to visit anymore. There's a few ruined cities laying around. Oh, you might be interested in the ruined city of Omu. Aside from that, it'll be what we find in the jungle. There's all sorts of ruins over there. Okay.
And if we do decide to take your offer, where might we find you around?
I'll be found up here in the merchant district. I tend to only want the wealthiest of clients. Only those that can afford to pay my fees and for my expertise in the jungle.
I should note, by the way, are there any upfront fees like the other guides?
Not for my services, no. I charge based on how many days we end up out in the jungle.
Oh, that's a bit nice to know, yes.
Can I make a history check to see if I know anything about albino dwarves and why she would so casually and racistly say that they can't be trusted?
Go for it.
That's a 15.
You've heard a few rumors of albino dwarves, but why she wouldn't like them or even any information about them is beyond any education you've had.
Okay. So I'm just gonna casually put that aside as racism in Lagotah's mind. She's used to that.
Fuck me sideways.
No thanks, I don't swing that way.
Yeah, I get as much. Right, moving on then.
Yeah, so you guys moving on?
Yeah.
She nods and starts walking off back across the bridge the way you came. And you guys head down towards Prince Ratanga's mansion. I'm going to move you over onto the map.
It's all dark. It's a big map, I think.
Decent sized map.
I'm like zoomed out quite far.
Just pings you to.
Yeah, it's just lagging for me a bit because my connection's terrible.
Yep, you should all be able to see.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna knock on the door.
Actually, how much time would have passed between
Uh,
what's her face?
takes a couple of minutes from the conversation with the leader to get to the Merchant Prince's palace.
Okay, if it was a couple of minutes, I would have been saying, I've seen some weird things in this place. Scales on skin? That doesn't seem like the normalest of things.
I'm sorry, what?
Sorry, my mind was a bit away. Selida, she has scaled skin.
Did she?
I saw it with my own eyes. It was subtle, just underneath the sleeve.
Meryl noticed it.
I have no idea what it might mean, though.
Can I make a nature check?
Yes, I'm going to call for one from Mercy as well, as Mercy's the
Yep.
ranger of the group. So how
17.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, you've heard rumors, but never thought that rumors could possibly be real. The word Yuan-Ti springs to mind, but very little known beyond snake people.
Can I have a look at this book we bought earlier?
Yes.
Actually, who has that at the moment?
Probably you.
Then
I
I shall
don't
have
know,
to-
yeah.
You're the one who wanted it.
I was going to take a long read of it tonight.
Yeah. Can I flip through the pages, see if we can find anything about snake people?
Yeah. Are you doing this outside the Merchant Princes, or are you going to wait until a little later?
We can save it for later. We're in no real rush.
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to PM you now. Just a small snippet of the information you find on Yuan-Ti.
Yeah, sorry that I interrupted that for what you were about to do now that we're outside the house.
So, did someone say they were going to knock at the door?
Yes.
Okay. You hear a voice go out from inside. Who are you? Why do you want to disturb the prince?
We are a friend of Lady Syndra Sylvain.
You say you know the lady, and We're going to let you into the entrance chamber with us. Please step inside, outside of any potential rain, and wait here while we go and check with the prince. And one of the others one of the steps through the door at the back of the room, and you hear his footsteps very quickly heading away. You have to appreciate we have to be careful with those that want to speak to the princes, and they do close the doors behind you.
Of course.
Of course, naturally.
We can't just let any old ruffians in off the street. However, you said a name that we've been instructed to check if someone comes looking for her. And a couple of minutes passes, and another one of these figures. All of these figures look tall, muscular. They're all armed with spears and shields, and they look like they're probably gladiators. Comes back in from the back of the mansion, says, "Boss says they're to go on through. I'll lead them." And he opens up the door and gestures for you to follow him through. As you head inside, you can see that this pleasant, breezy tiled courtyard includes a splashing fountain and green plants. There's a sign on the wall saying that the room to the left is a washroom. And you can see there don't appear to be any of these gladiators directly guarding the room, but you can see where they would stand around the room if they were on guard here. In this particular home, the entryway here is open to the sky, which is how you above the fountain, which is how you imagine the fountain gets its water flow. On the walls, you can see there's a few swords mounted on the walls. There's some fairly opulent rugs, and throughout this whole area, it's lit with fire spells, and soft music is playing throughout the entire area here. This is an opulent, there's a lot of wealth on display in this mansion while we move around here.
This puts some of the places that I've been advisors to shame. I could get used to this.
The princes spare no expense on the way they live. This way, please. And he leads you.
No expenses.
He leads you past the sitting area on the right, and straight through into what you imagine is the grand hall, which has a magnificently tiled floor flanked by two sweeping staircases that seem to be ascending to the upper floor. And again, in this room, there's more swords mounted on the walls.
Do they look purely decorative or like actual swords?
I'm
a smith from trade.
They look like real swords.
Okay.
They look like they're real sharpened swords. Let's check the exact name of Hobbit's character.
Angren.
Angren, can you please make me an Arcana check? I mean, is that a magical rune of a flying sword engraved into one of the hilts? No, your eyes must be playing tricks on you. Cough. And the gladiator leads you straight to this set of doors here in the back, and throws open the doors, and you can see sat on two of the chairs in what appears to be a dining room is a lady, Syndra, and I think you don't recognise, but you imagine to be the merchant prince. And as the door opens, it's actually Syndra looks across you, her face still covered by the mask, and says, my friends, welcome, come sit down, come join us. We're just about to serve afternoon dinner.
Is that like second breakfast?
I kind of mince my words a little bit there.
It's second breakfast.
It's more. I'm trying to find the character sheet for hunger. It's annoying me.
I'll let the others go through first, by the way.
It's kind of an early dinner in a way.
Mm.
There we go. I found the character sheet. That was annoying. Yeah. Since the lady seems to know you, come on in, sit down. Feel free to help yourself when the food arrives, and let's have a chat. What can I do for you? It's alright. You can close the door. We trust them. Yeah. 1 second. I just moved the lighting back because I grabbed the wall rather than the door.
I feel you.
Do you know? The gladiator says, "Hi, sir," and closes the door behind you. There is room on all the seats to sit down, and it looks like the food on the table looks fancy, and it looks like there's mugs of Tej as well.
I awkwardly sit down.
I'll first give a bow, and then take my seat once he's offered.
I'll stay standing just a tiny bit too long, and then I'll sit.
The prince raises an eyebrow at you, but doesn't comment on it. So, my friends, what can I do for you in my home since you've come to visit? Remember, Manon, you can hold Alt to place yourself more accurately.
Yeah. No, Alt. Which one is it?
Where is the Alt button?
Option.
Oh, okay.
Max.
I don't know your silly Swiss keyboards.
No, Mac.
Mac keyboard.
Oh,
Well, there's your problem.
Yeah, that's even worse.
anyway, so yeah. Syndra seems to be, Syndra seems to be rather heavily leaning on the chair and more looking to the prince to do the talking. She's not looking in good shape. But he did ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm letting someone else talk for once.
What was the question?
Why
He
we're
asked
here?
you- Yeah. What can I do
Basically.
for you? Why are you here?
The awkward
Fine.
silence straight stretches.
Do it again. Your lordship, we have been investigating the fine city and have been looking for supplies, gear, and guides and whatnot for our adventure out into the jungles of Schult. We have been wondering if perhaps you know more information that could help us on our journey, and perhaps if we could either return the favour, owe you a favour, or whatever else would be so kind to ask. If you perhaps are able to spare a room for us, if possible, that is, your lordship.
So you're the ones that my long-term friend here brought to the city. You know, she's responsible for me being one of the richest 7 people in the entire peninsula of Schult. Most of my money is earned in the sale of magic items and the acquisition and distribution of knowledge, lore, information. So I know of which the lady has contracted you to seek. I do, in fact, have 2 spare guest rooms, although you are unfortunately going to have to share beds, as normally my guests are married couples, not simple adventurers, but what will be will be. Don't worry about paying me back. Just to see my friend here recover to her former state is payment enough. I'm, if she'll excuse the pun, deathly worried by this curse. I took the liberty of speaking to Grandfather Zatambe, the High Priest. actually just before your arrival. I know of which you seek. You're going to be headed for the lost city of Omu, if you truly wish to end this curse and restore Lady Syndra to her former state. You are welcome to stay the night in my mansion. Unfortunately, I cannot supply you with the adventuring gear you're going to need. You will need to purchase that from the markets of the other princes may head.
Of course.
Beyond that, the guides that I would recommend would be Mushraib or the Tabaxi. They may owe money to the Zentalim, but they're almost always successful, and as far as we can tell, the only times they've lost customers have been when those customers have walked straight into the mouth of a Gigantosaurus, or jumped off a cliff, or caught mad monkey fever through no fault of the guides. Don't worry about their ties to the Zent. They're good as guides. That on Mushalib, although I recommend that you do aid him in his quest if you are serious about taking him with you. It'll be the best value for your money.
Do you know of a way we could more easily secure a charter of exploration rather than wasting precious time traveling to Fort Beluarian?
Well done.
Thank you.
I do. Return to me in the morning and I will inform you as to exactly how it's gone. I think I have a way to do it, although I might need the compensation of the cost, depending on exactly how the conversation with my contact goes.
Thank you.
I now need to go and look at shortened names to figure out a name for the gladiator so we can call him back. Because not giving him a name is blah.
Hey, Gladiator number 2.
Do it voice actor style.
Sexy boy, come back.
Fuck's sake. Chua is the name he calls, and the gladiator opens the door and pokes his head inside. Sir? Bring me the prince that has the best ties to the Flaming Fist. I need to speak with him about a special arrangement with our guest here. And it only has about an hour before I request his presence in my mansion. And the gladiator nods. Yes, sir, I'll get on that immediately. And closes the door again, and you hear him very quickly moving away.
If it may help in your negotiations, I am myself a fist.
I believe you're a half-orc, not a fist.
Having another member of the organization here will definitely assist if you wouldn't mind while the others retire to their chambers or to one of the guest rooms of the lady. No, yes, one of the sitting rooms with Lady Syndra here. While we have the conversation, if you would be so kind as to join us, that would certainly expedite the process.
You know this man better than me. Would the fact that I am a half-orc hinder the negotiations, however?
The fact that you're in the fist is what I need, regardless of what race you are. The merchant princes have long learned that no matter what shape, color, or size the person we're talking to is, everyone has value for whatever we're looking to accomplish. Don't worry about that here. We Chortans are a civilized people compared to the mainland. Until you get outside the city where everything is ruled by the red law, tooth and claw. But don't worry about that within our walls. We are very quick to sanction any that step out of line with decorum, especially within our upper echelon of society.
It is a damn shame that Triceratopses don't end up coming under that.
Did you have a bad encounter with one of the Triceratopses in the city? I am so sorry.
It is
Maybe
quite
next
a
time
ride.
you should get out of the way better.
You are not wrong, Your Lordship.
That's what we said after we picked him up on the floor.
Your friends are not wrong. As it happens, that is the hazard of living and working with dinosaurs every day. They are dangerous beasts, as has been demonstrated by the races. I believe it was just last week that a Tyrannosaurus went berserk, and Allosaurus ended up eating, what was it, Now I'm forgetting what dinosaur you rode, Umbra.
Oh, wasn't it one beginning with D? Dimetrodon?
Dimetrodon.
Ended up eating a Dimetrodon, and the last dinosaur in the race won because it was the only one still standing. It's quite the chaotic event, I assure you.
I'm probably never going to go there ever in my life. But thank you very kindly for
But the
the
dinosaur races are
recommendation.
tomorrow, and they're such fun, and you can earn such a great profit if you manage to bet on or even ride the right dinosaur.
How much is my animal handling? Because I know I'm proficient in it.
This could be quite funny.
I'm going to
It's
tell you now,
3.
I am stepping nowhere near any dinosaurs. Biscuit could go fuck itself this time.
I might
Wow.
give it a go.
Angren isn't even proficient, he's got a +3 to it.
I might give it a go.
The races are tomorrow, and if you're going to head out, I would recommend not doing it on the day of the racing, as the streets are going to be packed with those that are wanting to watch the spectacle. That, and we have the trials by combat in the morning execution as well. It'll be a busy day tomorrow, and I don't recommend heading out of the city until the excitement is done with. Better for slipping into the jungle unnoticed. Note for anyone sampling it, the food and Tej is very high quality here.
I shall be. I commend your staff on the food and drinks that are offered.
So, you're saying that you want guest rooms. When you head out of the door, turn left, head down the corridor, follow the corridor down, last room. There will be 2 guest rooms inside. The password to the door is... I changed it just this morning in honor of Golly's arrival. The password to the doors is still vain. Meiril, its passphrase is "see the glasses." And with his accent, it was hard to hear, but
So
that's the passphrase.
seal the glasses?
"See the grasses."
Oh, sear the grasses.
It can be a little smothering if you fall on it the wrong way. An intruder protection device. You'll have your own wall garden, and occasionally people like to jump over and try and climb in, and the rug takes care of them.
Good to know. What time would it be around now?
What time in the afternoon?
Yeah.
About 4 or 5 in the evening by this point.
Okay. So we've still got time to do some stuff before.
Yeah. From what he said, it's going to be about 6 when he wanted to have a chat to this other merchant prince.
And it's just going to be Merchant Prince, him, Sylvain, and...
Sylvain will not be there. It's going to be him, the other prince. You're not sure whether the other prince is going to bring anyone, and Lagotah.
Okay. And we're just going to kill time in the spare rooms.
Or you can
If that's what you
go,
guys want to do.
or you can go to the market and
Yeah.
start buying gear.
Yep.
I can hand you some of my gold if you want. Although I'd like to have a look for well, actually, I have smith's tools that would include things to upkeep armor even in this stupid weather, right?
Yes. Yes, it would.
Yeah, armor, things for armor, whetstones, things like that. So we're covered on that.
We need to take some time to discuss which guides we're gonna employ.
That is true. So we could discuss in our rooms, and when the other prince arrives, you go to the markets.
Fine by me.
Sounds
Okay.
like a plan.
So
Okay.
do we go
Alright,
check?
you're needing me to move the dynamic lighting, aren't you?
Maybe. I mean, I can go through it, apparently, because I can go through walls. But
No, you can't.
he said on our left.
He said
Left.
turn left when you exit. I've already moved the dynamic lighting on the doors in question. Yeah, the door at the end. And inside, this looks like a private sleeping room, which, well, it's got a sitting room out the front. You can see 2 bedrooms in the back, and you imagine that those are wash/bathrooms out at the very back, behind the beds. It looks like 2 sets of double beds.
Right.
She did warn you about. And there is actually access to a private garden here as well.
Oh,
How will the sleeping arrangements end up being?
I'm just having a look.
What did he say about the rug?
He said its passphrase is "sear the grasses."
Okay.
And Meiril, as you step on it, you can feel it start to grab your foot.
Sit the grasses, sit the grasses!
It lays back and goes still.
I need one of these.
So, guides. As far as I'm concerned, sleeping arrangements are whatever anybody wants.
Yeah, I don't care.
I mean,
Wherever I
had you guys not known the passphrase?
Yup. Hey, look, a smothering rug.
Yep.
Never would I have thought that had we not known the password, that in the first session I'd have to start punching a rug.
This is why you were given the passphrase.
Well,
I've removed the dynamic lighting in the area here so you can move through it freely.
is there anything to write with in this?
Yeah, you can see what looks like a small desk in one of the corners with parchment, quill, and ink.
I shall take. I guess I'll have to sit there because there's nowhere to sit around.
I will leave you my
in
my
this room as
cushion.
well. Fair enough.
I won't.
In this room as well, there's a couple more of the swords mounted on the walls.
I'll be sat at the table and
I'll actually stand up and admire the fine craftsmanship as we talk.
This is a very finely crafted sword. And now you look closer at it, you can see the markings of a enchanted flying sword.
Wow.
So it was recommended that by the name forgotten from my head, name blank.
Who are you looking for?
Wakanga?
Wakanga.
Yeah.
He mentioned the Musharib or the Tutabaxi as being a bit more ideal. There was also the scaled woman who is a bit racist.
But
Jeez,
Yep.
damn it.
for someone who might
are you
not
looking
be
through
entirely
the-
human,
Are you looking through the book now?
I suppose we might as well.
Yeah, I'll give it a flick through.
Are you looking for any entry in particular, or Just having a flick through.
Snake people.
Okay.
With scales. And dare I even suggest the remote idea that we go to Jobel himself?
I'm sure we won't die if we go in there by ourselves.
It's more his.
We might not find what we're looking for, though.
Let us just say that the organization that he is part of does not see very eye to eye to people like me.
I would rather avoid to tie myself to those people, either.
Yeah.
I would rather avoid tying myself with, snake people who, kind of might have a history of cannibalism and slavery. I say, as I push the book towards the others.
I take a look at it.
Mia, feel free to summarize the information I've given you any way you choose.
Yeah. There were once a human civilization, worshipping snakes and things like that. And basically through magic, they turned themselves as part serpents. They had like a big empire, but it kind of fell. It fell. But yeah, cannibalism, humanoid sacrifice, the Yuan-Tai through sorcery, bred with snakes. Not really. I'd rather not choose that guide.
And people think that we're the disgusting one for being half-breeds.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I've put a straight cross line through Salida's name on the notes I'm taking.
I wonder why.
Which then leaves us with the Tabaxis or Musharib, or possibly one of the others that the Yuan-Ti, if I've pronounced that correctly, mentioned as well. Zaka and Eku, Farul, Gondola, Old Hugh. Although I don't really know if we want to go into the jungles with someone who apparently suffers from mad monkey fever.
Probably not.
We might also want some information on mad monkey fever and how to avoid it.
Yes, that would be something helpful. I start making notes.
I'm being distracted by these swords. Sorry.
I suppose our options happen to be help an albino dwarf fetch a relic for his people.
The Tabaxi did mention the lost city of Omu. Well, this ruins of Omu
Did
or
they?
something. I think they did.
Wasn't it Salida who did mention?
DM, which one did?
Which one mentioned what, sorry?
Omu.
Yeah.
The Yuan-Ti.
Oh.
Yuan-Ti mentioned Omu.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are
What?
we now considering the Yuan-Ti again?
No, we're not. I mean, her price is far too high anyway.
That is true.
I'm not paying 5 gold pieces per day.
My my heart tends to go for the dwarf.
Really? Do we want to lose time?
Well, that is the thing. Although the other alternative, which I am actually quite alright with, is with the tabaxis, we just give up 50% of any treasure we find.
Was it 50?
Did they say 50% or a share?
A share, I
Equal
think.
share.
It's an
It's
equal
the
share,
chart of
don't we?
exploration that's 50%.
Oh, I thought it said equal share, so I took that as 50/50.
Between the 6 of
Well,
us.
6 of us.
Oh, yeah, good point.
7 with Neb, but yes.
So they get a third.
Yeah.
Each.
I will
And
make
you
it.
guys will get the other
And-
2/3.
If they're interested in what we find, it might be a bonus. It means they won't just leave us in the middle of nowhere.
That is true.
Or we could just
Whereas,
pay the 4 gold pieces a day.
whereas the dwarf, when he gets what he wants, who says he's not just gonna leave us?
That is a good point.
Dwarves tend to be quite loyal people if you get on their good side.
I'm not
Dwarves
used
tend
to
to
get on the
be-
good side of anyone.
Dwarves tend to be people.
Sorry.
I'd rather not generalize.
I feel like overall, I guess we're leaning towards the tabaxis then, right? By how I'm hearing the room.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Any qualms from anyone?
I'm good. I mean, I'm not sure we need a guide anyway. But if we take one, the cheapest is fine.
I'm not too bothered about the fact that they owe money to the Zentrum.
It might get us into trouble if we run into Zentrum. Or if they
Okay.
run into Zentrum before we leave the city.
Better to owe money to this Zentrum than work for them, I think.
It means you're no ally of them.
Plus, we did get that bit of information from, well, Snake Lady.
True. But if we do go for the tabaxi, which do we focus on then? The 4 gold per day? Or a third of our treasure?
We're not really in this for treasure, are we?
There?
Yes, we are.
One of us is.
Well, some of us do not mind giving up their share.
I am in agreement.
The tabaxis it is, then.
Yeah.
Flask
For the
of
treasure?
wine and river mist.
For the treasure?
For the
Surely-
treasure.
Surely any treasure we find must be worth then paying 4 gold per day. So once we sell the treasure and pay them their 4 gold per day, we should get a profit.
If they even survive the adventure.
Thinking monetarily, I do agree. If we're thinking money, cheaper ways is indeed probably the gold piece per day. Presumably, we do find treasure.
But what if we don't?
Well, then we should just pay a cheaper fare than anyone else. I am merely playing devil's advocate here. Advisory. Playing an advisor for a while does this to you, I apologize. I am fine with whichever option we pick.
I am too, I suppose.
Going with the treasure ensure there are no Earth.
It does ensure that they're going to help us Because
some extent.
because they're not just going to lead us to places of no interest.
There is that too. There is incentive.
And there's also the incentive of them to betray us and take the treasure for their own.
Yeah,
I
they could do
I
that
mean,
anyway.
the way we pay them doesn't change that risk.
and Wakanga did vouch for them.
He did.
So our final option: money. Give them money or give them treasure.
I say treasure unless someone is really strongly against it.
I'm fine with it.
And Angren?
I'd rather the money, but I don't mind. Treasure's treasure, nothing. Treasures come and go.
If we have no heavy opposition, I suppose we'll end up having to go with the treasure now.
Even half the treasure it is.
A third of the treasure.
Am I the only one who couldn't quite get what Umbra was saying?
Oh no, Umbra was breaking up for me as well. If it's Umbra having problems, assume it's Umbra.
True.
Yeah, everything just went funny for me. It was me.
And so, I think we agree.
Okay. I shall make the notes. Say what we're going for then.
And if you're going to get equipment for all of us, here is the 40 gold that I still have from what Lady Sylvain gave us earlier.
What equipment are you after?
We need equipment for all of us, survival gear, maybe
Just
any
your
kind.
basic survivals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any kind of medicine plants that might help against its monkey fever. I don't like the sound of it.
It sounds like a tourist trap. I mean, does it even exist?
Just as a note, guys, there is some special stuff in Port Nyanzaru. You don't have to buy all of this. This is just the special items that will be available for exploration in the jungle.
Right.
And so, were you saying, does the Lost City of Omo exist?
No,
the
man monkey
monkey
fever.
fever.
Oh, not monkey fever.
She thinks it sounds made up.
Yeah.
But it's not made up.
That's the worst.
It is made up. It's D&D.
Well, use your own discretion for the shopping.
Definitely look into the insect repellent, I'll tell you that much.
The rain catcher could come in handy.
We don't need that. I can create water.
Alright
Sure.
then.
So we don't need the rain catcher, you're all good on that end. Food-wise...
Food-wise, maybe some rations? Something that will keep.
We also need to figure out how long we're going to be out there for before we need to resupply.
You have a ranger who can hunt for food every day, right?
Yes, I can.
For up to how many people?
No idea.
I believe it was up to 5, but that may be Pathfinder.
You have Outlander
Yeah.
background?
Yes, I do.
Oh, then it's something ridiculous like 12. because
Yeah.
You're,
Or just a party.
You're like Unearthed Ranger as well, aren't you?
Sorry?
Unearthed Arcana, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is presuming the jungle provides. Like, if the jungle doesn't provide, then we're fucked.
Yeah, if the only thing in the jungle is undead,
Do it Minecraft style, eat the undead flesh.
I can find twice as much food as I normally would.
whatever that means.
Helpful.
I think
I'll rule it that you'll be able to find food for everyone, including the guys.
Thank you.
So we'll take some backup food just in case.
yeah, if there's like
Yeah.
a day that you can't fetch stuff.
Can I purify undead meat? Does it? Gets rid of disease.
I mean, yeah, in theory you could purify it, but it's a jungle. There'll be small animals and stuff to hunt out there.
Hopefully.
I'm just revealing the character sheets for River Mist and Flight of Wines, which made the decision on it.
Yeah.
So it was me and 5 other people.
Yeah.
But as I can find twice as I would, I made 12, isn't it?
Yeah, you'll be able to find enough for everyone because you also are going to have Neb's character join you next week.
Yeah.
Not that your characters technically know that, but yes. So you'll be able to find food for everyone, basically. Holy shit, that makes life so much easier than having to worry about exactly how many rations you have.
Yeah. Okay, so food should be covered. We'll just get a few like emergency supplies just in case, which I think might be in our packs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we should have some already. Maybe a tent or hammocks, a way to not like.
Yeah.
And if you guys are interested in stuff like potions, Wakanga sells common and uncommon potions and first and second level spell scrolls. Not that you can afford uncommon or second level stuff.
No, I think if we can afford 1 or 2 potions, that would be the max,
Yeah.
and it will depend on whether we need to pay for the charter or not.
Yeah. Wakanga's price on common potions is 80 gold.
Including potions of healing?
Yep.
Ah, that's expensive.
He has a complete monopoly
Yep.
on such things within the city. However, you might be able to barter with him directly.
We can deal with potions once we've got everything else.
Yeah.
See what we've got left. If not, I'll just save my spells for healing.
Yeah, I can do that too.
As a note, Mira, are you going to want to be in the one-to-one channel for the chat with the princes, or are you want to do it with everyone else here?
It's up to you. I don't mind doing it with everyone else. It's up to them also.
I mean, I suppose we could like just haunt through like whatever shit we can find and discuss what we want to buy whilst you're doing that, and then just once you're back, say this is what we're buying, and we're taking it out.
That works.
Okay.
Means we can do both things at the same time.
Yeah, because you guys are going to want to have the discussion about exactly what equipment. Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
You will be able to find pretty much anything needed to survive in the jungle. Plus, I've obviously shown you the special stuff that can be purchased. Just a note for your planning: heavy armor is at triple price.
I am
Okay.
keeping what I have on me then.
That's like 4,500 GP for full plate.
That shit is rare in the jungle because you really want to be wearing heavy armor in this heat.
Oh.
It's actually a reasonably nice temperature inside the house, but still got that muggy, humid atmosphere. It's like,
Before, well, no, I'm gonna keep my my armor to go talk to the prince. But after that, I love to be able to take advantage of those washrooms.
and
Yeah,
just for the note, how are sleeping arrangements going to work?
I'll take whatever's left.
Thanks.
Yeah, helpful.
I'll take this room. I don't care what anyone else does.
I'll take the other one.
So making Meiril and Angren decide.
Yep.
I'm not paying attention, so I'll take the one left.
Okay.
I haven't got the page up at the moment.
Okay, so it's Angren and Lagotah, Meiril and Mercy.
Okay, so I've got the more animalistic orc of the two of them.
And you'll be happy with it.
Jesus.
Okay, so is there anything else you guys are saying before one of the gladiators comes to escort Lagotah upstairs?
I passed you the gold. Do bring back what's left of it.
I'll note it down in mind. How much was it? 40?
Yeah.
Okay.
Make
And
sensible choices.
And it's about this time, as you guys are finish up your decisions, that a gladiator comes to the doorway and knocks and says, "They're ready for you upstairs."
I will follow him.
Okay, and I'm going to go and have a chat in the one-to-one channel so you guys can plan out exactly what you want to get.
Okay.
Bye.
Alright. While he escorts me, I'm gonna
I will write you.
Yeah.
Don't mind.
I'm gonna ask the guard his opinion on Wakanga. If he likes working for him, what kind of person he is.
Lord Wakanga is a good man. He's one of the richest people in the city, but he treats us well, and he's always gone out of his way to make sure we have a good life. Of all the princes, he's probably the one I'd most like to work for.
That is good. Thank you. Can I insight check it?
Go for it.
Just to make sure.
Yeah.
I
As a
cannot
note
he seems to be telling the truth because that's a 7.
And as a note to any players trying to watch the recording, skip ahead.
I mean, I will be relaying the information. It's not exactly
but-
super secret, but
Yeah. The guy leads you into the room and shows you inside the door. And inside you can see Wakanga on your right, and you assume a merchant prince towards the window at the back, and a figure wearing heavy armor, and you notice the rank insignia of a blaze.
I
Sat
do
next to
a martial salute to her, and then a more like courteous salute to the merchant prince.
The blaze, without getting up, returns the salute and says, "Fist." And Wakanga looks around and says, "Ah, welcome. I'm glad you could join us. This is Prince Akianafa, who is the one that mostly trades in weapons, shields, traveling gear, the ring catchers, so stuff like that. And I can see you already acquainted, at least with the rank of Commander Liara Portier here,
Indeed.
who is also commander of the forces of the Flaming Fist here in short, and I believe also holds the rank of Blaze, although forgive me if I got that wrong, Commander. And she just gives him a nod and says, that's it. And the prince speaks up. Prince. It's actually a she. And she says,
Is it?
yes,
Wow.
Akinafa is actually a she.
Okay.
What do you want from me, Wakanga? You know I'm busy with the weapons trade. And, I'm just going to do it in their voices without saying it, that I'm talking between them.
Okay.
I have some guests staying with me who are needing to head into the jungle. They're the latest group to be investigating the Death Curse. And I was hoping that with your connections to the Fist here, you would be able to expedite the process of getting a charter of exploration. Since I see you brought a fellow member of the Fist with you, that shouldn't be too hard to arrange. Soldier, how do you feel about doing some work for us while you're out in the jungle if you get the chance?
If I get the chance, I would be honored to help the Fist.
We've been receiving reports of giants to the southeast of Fort Ballor, but none of our patrols have yet encountered them. If you could find them and return evidence of their activities and ideally what the hell they're doing on this peninsula, that would be much appreciated, and I'm sure that we will be able to provide payment for your trouble. We have a decent stash of money and equipment back at Fort Ballor, and I'm sure I can persuade Lord Ravengard in Baldur's Gate to send more or arrange a more fitting reward depending on exactly the information you recover. Be aware that he will need proof before we can authorize payment.
I'm sorry, I'm just taking notes.
problem.
And bring proof. To the southeast of the fort, right?
Yes.
So mostly in the part that's vaguely explored?
In the region of Kitch's Inlet.
Okay.
So the edge of where the Fist currently draws its territory, which actually doesn't know. They're acting within the Fist territory without a charter, and you know the rules on that.
I do.
Well, it seems that with the Fist here, you didn't really even need me unless there's equipment you want to purchase. Yes. Don't get you ahead of yourself, Akeem. You wouldn't happen to have any rain catchers available for my associates here for their journey, or wagons or ways of heading out into the jungle that wouldn't be so uncomfortable as walking straight out into there, potentially right into the arms of the undead? How much money do you have with you? I'll see what I can arrange. You'd need to take a dinosaur with you, with someone to drive it, which would mean you probably wouldn't be taking any Fist mercenaries with you.
I know how to handle animals and vehicles.
You ever ridden a dinosaur, young lady?
No, I have not.
Then you're going to need someone much more specialized if you take a wagon up there. Canoes might work, but they only work as far as the river. Eventually, you're going to end up on foot, and if you don't have a guide, no matter who's in your party, I don't favor your chances of not becoming lost.
How much would a dinosaur mount and wagon and handler cost us?
I may be able to arrange something with tomorrow's races. Are you intending to take part at all, or are you just betting on the sidelines?
I would like to try it. It sounds interesting.
She sort of puts a hand on under her chin and looks at Wakanda, and he catches her expression. You're not thinking what I think you're thinking, are you? I mean, a Princess Champion in one of the races would certainly be quite the spectacle. We could up the stakes on the race, up the take, and certainly give more, and I don't see why they wouldn't get to keep them out if they won. If that would be agreeable to you, Lagotah, it was, right?
Yes.
The thought that I believe Akeen is having, and she's welcome to correct me if I'm wrong, is that at least one of your races as either I or her as champion in the races tomorrow. Hell, if two of you want to race, then that's easy enough. We can then do once in the 4-legged, once in the 2-legged race. And well, if you enter as a champion, we can up the stakes on the race, we can up the prices, and I'm sure we could persuade the owners of stable masters to allow you use of the dinosaur for anything other than racing, potentially with a guide free of cost, although you would have to worry about upkeeping them for food and water whilst you were gone.
That should be doable. I do remind you that it will be my first time riding a dinosaur.
You seem confident that you can handle yourself with animals, so that shouldn't be a problem. If you do have a second member of your party that's wanting to actually actively ride one of the dinosaurs, then please do let us know. Aside from that, you wouldn't happen to have any rain catcher spare game, would you? I'll see what I can do if you can win the race. Otherwise, I'm afraid the champion that loses is not going to be able to acquire anything in the city.
Understood.
Fist, good luck up there. Seems you're going to need it, and since you've accepted the contract, the Blaze reaches into a belt pouch on her armor and pulls out a small scroll of paper and hands it over to you.
Thank you.
And let me find. Is it under special items? It's under special items. Edit. Show 2. For free, and if you provide enough of a spectacle and bring back the proof, I will even arrange to waive the requirement to give half of your treasure to the Fist, as you're already a member.
Thank you.
If you can end this blasted curse, we'll all sleep a lot more soundly at night.
So shall I.
Oh, unless there's any other business for me here, I'm going to need to be heading out. I'm heading back to Fort Ballor in the morning, and I need to be returning to my ship to make sure. And that should be completely fine, since they seem to have come to an arrangement about the charter exploration. The guards will see you out, and the guard gets up, gives you a nod of respect as she heads out the door, and you can hear her clanky arm as she walks away.
I will salute the two princes since, well, prince and princess, I guess.
Yeah, merchant prince is kind of an honorific title rather than a potential descriptor.
And head back out.
Okay. I will drag you down, and you can hear.
I would have loved to talk to Wakanda about that sword, but it can wait.
As I know, these swords are flying swords, not magic swords. There is a slight difference.
Yeah. Still, it's pretty.
Anyway, unless there's anything else, I'll move you back into the main channel.
Yep.
Okay.
I think.
So I take it the blocks of incense going there.
Hello.
Hello.
We are back. And to answer that, PM notice received Umbra half price.
Half price, okay. So yeah, half price for the shit that we can sell.
Okay.
So, I get 5 copper back for selling my torches.
And it's about this time that Lagotah, escorted by one of the gladiators, walks back through the door.
Maybe keep a torch just in case we get separated.
Yeah,
Remember, you do have a token human.
Yeah, although the token human can probably cast light.
Yeah, I can.
So, how did it go?
It went well. I have a charter of exploration for us.
Hey.
However, if we can find the time to look around Kitcher's Inlet, there seem to be some giants here that are causing some trouble, and they would like to know why they're here and what they're doing, and bring back proof of what we say. That is in exchange of waiving the fees for the charter.
Can I have that summarized to add to the to-do list?
Yes. Check out the giants around.
As a note for everyone else, as Miya says, the requirement to hand over half the treasure and the costs have been waived if you can bring back proof of the giants and ideally what the hell they're doing on the peninsula to Fort Ballor.
Okay. This is just
There.
actually a item somehow.
Also, I will be taking part of tomorrow's dinosaur race. And if things go right, we might have ourselves a dinosaur and a cart that could facilitate our going through the jungle and transporting things.
Nice.
Alright.
Okay.
What kind of dinosaur?
I do not know yet.
Oh.
Tyrannosaurs.
I doubt that. And if anyone else would like to try and take part of the race, you may do so. We would have to let Wakanga know.
I would love to.
That is quite alright. I will maybe bet at most. Thank you.
Yeah, not for me either.
Do we want oil?
As a note, Manon, I am disappointed at you.
Yeah, and as a note
But my character wouldn't.
as a note for everyone who will not be taking part in the races, in any race where you're not directly championing a dinosaur with your own character, I will be handing over control to one of the NPC dinosaurs to you.
Wonderful.
Okay.
So you will still be participating, just not as your own character.
Alright.
Don't make me lose!
It's me you're against here. You're going to win every game.
My dinosaur turns around and runs the other way. Just to make the party win.
You guys need to be racing as hard as you can, no matter which dinosaur is actually best to win for the party.
Yeah.
You are allowed to place bets. You will be allowed to place bets on the dinosaurs that are in each race. So it's up to you.
I'll end up, when it comes around, putting somebody on.
Anyway, so have you guys come up with a list of what you want to purchase?
I believe so. I'm just focusing on seeing if there's anything else to add to this. Oh, oil. Do you want oil?
What sort of oil?
Like the flammable kind.
Like you want to set this jungle on fire?
I like usually used for lantern oil, but maybe it has multiple purposes.
I'll add it to the list. Question.
We don't have to, but
I mean, I can see in the dark, but proper light is always, like, nicer when we're not in a dangerous place.
do we want to buy any more hunting traps? We've got one, but do we want more?
It may be a good idea for when we're sleeping to place traps around.
Yeah.
At least when we wake up in the morning, there may be some more game there to eat for breakfast.
Hunting traps are 5 GP each. I have a hammer, but if we want to buy more, one hammer should be alright, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Probably. I probably have a hammer in my smith's tools.
I mean, if we've got a ranger, it's pretty easy to make like snare trap.
Yeah, should be able to. Or is that the point in the trap? I don't know. I'm sure I'd be able to trap something.
So far we've got insect repellent, tents, spade, empty vials, oil, and hunting traps. And then a couple of things just for each individual, like bed rolls, daggers, mess kits.
Yeah, you are able to find all of that for the prices listed out in the PHP.
Chain or chalk, that's really all I can find. Is anything else we might possibly need, or bells? Aside from that, I can't see anything
I
else.
have a hammer. I don't have a spade.
Are you guys going to be getting any of the special equipment?
Insect repellent?
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to need it. Actually, we could go for a canoe if we do have a dinosaur carrying stuff.
I was surprised.
Note that dinosaur and canoe will be either or.
Okay.
You mean we can't put the dinosaur on the canoe?
That's an either or for getting into the jungle.
Right, okay. Get that dinosaur.
Yeah.
Because the dinosaur will be attached to a carriage if that's how you do it.
Right. Okay, so what does the total price come to, and how much?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 21 plus oil if you're having it. 21 gold. So not that much at the moment.
Yeah.
And then the individuals for other people.
Is that 21 each, or 21?
No, in total.
Oh. So we could just stick 5 gold pieces each. I'll throw 6.
Right.
And that nets us...
Oh, I closed it.
Okay, so all of that equipment, the main equipment, the 41? 21 GP worth. What did that net us?
5 lots of insect repellent, the 24-hour kite, 2 tents, a spade, 5 empty vials, and a hunting trap if you want it. If not, you can take that off.
Guess an extra couldn't hurt. Unless people don't want.
Oh, I do have a shovel. Never mind.
Oh. If you have a shovel, then we don't need to buy a shovel.
Yep.
Okay, I'll take the shovel off.
I have an iron pot also.
Oh, by the way, when you walk into the room, you just see stuff everywhere. We've all emptied our bags.
Yeah. Right.
So, Miya, have you got things like water skins, bedrolls, stuff like that?
Yes. I have that.
Mess kit. I think that was the only things we went over that we all needed each.
So who wants to carry the shared stuff, or who wants to carry what of the shared stuff?
Did you guys buy a tent or something like that?
We bought 2 tents.
2 tents, okay. I can easily carry one.
Yeah, I can take the other one.
Okay, so if you both take the tents each, I'll store the vials and some of the repellent.
I can take some of the other repellent if you don't want to have it all.
I don't mind taking it all.
What else is
I don't
left?
know how much all this stuff weighs. And then just the hunting trap.
I'll take the hunting trap since we can share it around.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll keep mine with me.
You added the crowbar to your inventory, didn't you?
I did, yeah. And just work this out. 5, 10, 15. So that comes to 19 in total that we need to pay.
Yeah, so 5 each.
5 each, and one person just pays 4 instead.
I'll pay the 4 as I paid the extra for the books.
Alright, and then individual stuff.
You wanted a bedroll and a mess kit, which is 1 gold and 2 silver. And does anyone know the price of a dagger?
I can find that for you.
I'm buying it now.
2
It is
gold.
2 GP. Damn it!
2. Okay, so I need to minus 3 from my bedroll and dagger. 16 to 30.
So bedroll and mess kit was mine, wasn't it?
Wait, I am
Yes.
checking. I am not entirely sure I have a bedroll.
I asked you this.
I know! Why does
Yeah,
the
see-
Dungeoneers pack not
Yeah.
have a bedroll?
Yeah.
It doesn't have a it doesn't
Nope.
have a mess kit either.
Yeah, I'll need a bedroll and a mess kit then.
Okay, 1 gold, 2 silver for you as well.
Wait, that means we got 3 crowbars and 2 hammers.
Hand one of your crowbars out to whoever's left.
4 tinderboxes.
I can take a crowbar.
This is why I said we should sell some of this stuff.
You never know when they come in handy.
Handy.
Did we want any oil?
No.
I
Nah.
guess it's no.
Okay.
If anyone wants to sell a crowbar, you can sell it for 1 GP. It normally costs 2.
I mean, if we're gonna be opening like ancient tombs and stuff, crowbars can come in handy.
True.
Yeah, but 3 of them.
In case we lose some.
Well, if somebody that wants and it breaks.
I'm keeping mine. You guys do whatever you want with yours.
We also have, you know, as spare rations. 32 days worth between 4 people.
Keep them just in case.
Yeah.
You never know, if our ranger dies, we'll need food.
Right. I think that's everything.
Thank you for the vote of confidence.
You're welcome.
You just hear the DM quietly say, "When?"
I heard that actually.
Remember, even if you guys make it all the way to the Tomb of Annihilation,
We'll have to make it back.
Yup.
I think we've got everything covered now, right?
Yeah.
We need to swing by the tabaxis to hire them, and it was also recommended that we leave the city tomorrow evening.
Afternoon.
After
the
the
dinosaur
Afternoon?
racing.
Yeah.
The dinosaur racing executions are first thing in the morning, and it's best to leave after the excitement's died down.
Right.
So, before I call it for the session tonight, I'm going to move you back over onto the map. Whereabouts, when you guys start your expedition, are you guys going to be looking to head?
Shit the bed.
Well, we have a mission for around... It's not letting me ping! What the hell? Hello?
Hi.
Hi? Okay.
Hello. Is it me you're looking for?
I can't
Sorry,
ping
yeah.
for some reason.
Are you on the measuring tool?
Nope.
Try exiting and reloading.
I think this location's a good area to start.
Yeah.
Right here.
Like, and objectives when you're heading, are you going to be mostly looking for like interesting places as you head, or are you going to be trying to avoid them and just get through the jungle as quick as possible?
Well,
Well.
given that we're looking for something, firstly we'll need to ask our guides if they have ever heard of the lost city of Omu. Then I don't know.
From a meta perspective, going straight to the lost city of Omu is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just trying to get into what kind of campaign you guys are looking for when you're in the jungle. I have ways to guide you to Omu once you guys are of an appropriate level.
Yeah.
I mean,
So what,
as a player perspective, I don't mind doing a lot of exploring and finding interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Character-wise, though, we're on a clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys as players wanting to mostly explore interesting locations, in which case the guides will lead you around a interesting route that will totally accidentally hit a load of interest. Or are you guys wanting to just explore the jungle, random encounters, stuff like that? Also, I'm assuming people are wanting to hit Dang Wang Lang.
I was going to
Bless you.
Clearly.
Bless you.
Yes, yeah.
Sorry.
Because there does seem to be a lot of stuff going on at
Dang
Yeah.
Wang Lang.
Dang Wang Lang.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-ong. You know, we've got
We're not meeting Christmas elf, you know.
there's effectively a plot hook with a horny king that wants to bang priest. Can't get over that. There's the maze nearby, which allows us to get Updow's Funk You Up's favour, and also the poison could be quite useful.
Yeah, we will explore a bit, no doubt.
So, interesting places rather than completely random encounters, I'd
Yep.
say.
Noted. And do you guys care about heading through undead territory? Or are you looking to avoid it as much as possible?
Probably avoid at least what
Again,
is
Yeah.
known as.
Yeah, no, good point. I was gonna say again, are you asking the players or the characters?
I'm trying to establish what kind of campaign you guys want, and
Yeah.
even once you guys are done in Omu, which will be the Tomb of Annihilation, I can continue the campaign and have you explore other areas of Shult on the way back, assuming you survive. This is not a problem for me.
That's a big assumption.
Yeah.
But it's not a problem if we do get to that point to explore the other interesting locations around Shult. So
I would like to get that Order of the Gauntlet plot hook, because that could be nice to have a foothold somewhere in like friendly territory in the jungle. It does mean dealing with undead though.
That is a fair
most
point.
likely you guys will want to head out via canoe to get to Camp Vengeance. Got it.
Do we want to do that first, or to check out that giant thing near Kitcher's Inlet? Which, by the way, is over there, now that I can finally ping.
Hey.
Yay!
So
We might have been looking at the uncensored version of the map just to see the actual terrain underneath.
was it Camp Righteous that had the Iron Gauntlet?
Although, as you can see marked on the map, Camp Righteous has actually been destroyed and they've retreated to Camp Vengeance.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that would be a river thing. And then the
Yep.
other way.
I'm just trying to get an idea of what kind of campaign you guys are wanting once you get into the jungle.
Yeah.
This is very sandboxy. I can guide it to an extent, and I'll make sure you hit some interesting locations. Just
I don't mind a couple random encounters every now and then, but maybe not
Yeah,
just
of course.
we wander aimlessly.
I have to roll 3 times a day for a random encounter.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I now have a fairly decent idea of what you guys are going to do. I'm going to need to get just all the prep done for next session, and I am aware of the time. So this is where I'm going to call it for tonight. If you have any feedback about tonight's session, as usual, I do always welcome it, or feel free to PM me if you have to go to bed. Aside from that, hope you enjoyed it. Welcome to Tomb of Annihilation. And Miya, you can start the record.
You.
Woo! I am so excited.
Very, very enjoyable.
Yes. Once.
Mm-hmm.
I shall head off now because
Yeah, me too.
Friday is my early morning day.